Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. My name is Preston Jacobs, and we are talking about some ice and fire. And I know last week at the end of the stream, I said I wasn't going to stream tonight, but here I am. Um, and so I want to talk about Qhorin Halfhand a bit. Um, and I guess over time, my feelings about Qhorin have changed. But what I think is interesting about Qhorin Halfhand, because is that he's kind of disappeared from the zeitgeist. Like no one really talks about Qhorin Halfhand. No one thinks about Qhorin Halfhand. Somebody like Serial Pharrell, for example, he appears in freaking two chapters, and but he's so impactful that everyone kind of just like thinks about him forever. Like, oh, maybe Serial's still alive. Oh, maybe he's involved with the Faceless Men. Oh, but but also Sirio's like his messages and how he affected Arya continue on, and so he becomes this fan favorite. But Qhorin, I don't know. I don't know if people have any positive feelings about Qhorin. I vaguely remember that when season two of the show came out, people were excited about the appearance of Qhorin Halfhand, that they'd gotten this badass actor who is the exact opposite of like how he's described. He's got a beard and short hair when Qhorin has long hair and no beard and stuff like that. Um, but not many people talk about Qhorin, with the exception of the Qhorin is X like mysteries. Like Qhorin is secretly Arthur Dayne, or Qhorin is secretly Gerald Hightower, or Qhorin is secretly Oswell Went. Like you get those stories about Qhorin, and you have like my Schemes of the Half Hand video, which I rewatched before this. And that video solidly summarizes and pokes holes in the latter half of the Jon story of A Clash of Kings. It's a solid video, if not to toot my own horn, but rewatching like Schemes of the Half Hand, I'm like, some good work there. Some good work there. But for those that kind of forgotten, like the Qhorin Halfhand story, Qhorin shows up about Jon 5, and his story stretches from Jon 5, Jon 6, Jon 7, Jon 8. Jon 5, he kind of has this planning information of his party. He arrives at the camp with and talks to Jeor Mormont, and he requests that Jon come along with him ranging for no goddamn reason. There is no reason ever given on why Jon would be chosen, why this kid with no experience and would go into his ranging party with a direwolf who would stick out like a sore thumb, while they're all wearing black, so they can move secretly. The direwolf would just cause attention, and in fact, the direwolf is the thing that causes gets people's attention. The eagle spots and is the reason that their party fails. Jon 6 is when they come to the pass, and Qhorin's like, "Oh, there's two people up there. You, Jon, and this other guy go up there and kill them." And he gets up there, and it's Ygritte. There's actually 3 wildlings, and it's Ygritte, and he kills Orell, and then he sits, and Ygritte tells him the story of Bael the Bard. And then Jon 7 has to do with like ghosts, like vision, where he runs into maybe time-traveling Bran. He runs into a tree with Bran in it, and then they go searching for him. They feel the need to go searching for Ghost. And then Jon 8 is he and Qhorin like running away, and then Qhorin's like, no fires, and then they build a fire anyway, and then he says, "Oh, you must betray and turn over," and everything like that. And going through the story, really, when you try to piece it together, like, why did Qhorin Halfhand choose Jon? Why did they not torture Ygritte when they have with them a master torturer Why are they searching for Ghost and wanting to save Ghost? Why are they doubling back and getting caught so easily? Him building fires. And you can kind of say, okay, well, my schemes of the half hand video where I go in and just be like, well, what Qhorin is doing is just asinine. The only explanation is somehow right from the beginning, Qhorin half hand wanted Jon to join the wildlings, and that was his whole scheme from the beginning. Was the only thing that kind of made sense. I mean, just every little thing, like why Jon is chosen, why Ygritte is spared, why they search for Ghost, why they seem to purposely get caught. The only explanation I could come up with is that somehow this was some sort of master plan from the beginning, and that Qhorin Halfhand wanted Jon to join the wildlings from the beginning, in order to get to know them, so that when he rises to Lord Commander, he has more sympathy. Essentially, somehow Qhorin has all the knowledge of George R. R. Martin, and that he's being commanded around by Bloodraven, time traveling Bran, something like that. And in my more confident days, where I sort of thought, when I say confident days, my confidence in George days, my days where I was like, George has this master plan. It's all planned out. He has this story. He knows where it's going. And over time, my confidence in him is eroded, and I kind of just accept that he's making this shit up as he goes along. And so I look at the Qhorin story, and I'm like, okay, take the early Preston, this is his plan from the beginning kind of thing. Does that make sense? Like, if you were Bloodraven, time traveling Bran, somebody in a tree, sending visions to Qhorin, would you use this plan to get Jon to be Lord Commander, with sympathy for the wildlings? Wouldn't it be easier to make Jon Lord Commander a different way and just send him mind-altering visions? Because you have the power to send mind-altering visions. Because if you have the power to get Qhorin Halfhand to go on a suicidal quest, and all of his other dudes to go on a suicidal quest, on this Hail Mary fucking plan of getting Jon Snow to join the wildlings and find information and then kind of reveal it, or I mean, we don't even know. It's so hard to know what Qhorin is planning and talking about, because on the one hand, he thinks they have some sort of sorcery and they need to discover what kind of sorcery it is, but at the same time, like, they're unwilling to torture Ygritte for that information, even though they have a master torturer with them. So, like, does he actually want to find out about the wildling sorcery, or is that a bunch of bullshit? Because if you wanted to find out about the wildling sorcery, torture Ygritte, like that, she knew about the horn. You could have found out about the horn just from torturing Ygritte, but your master torturer was like, nope, she probably won't talk. She'd bite off her own tongue than talk. So, if you're from Qhorin's position, that you really want to figure out what sorcery the wildlings are using, your plan makes no sense and you're an idiot. If you're like a time-traveling Bran character and you want Jon to infiltrate the wildlings so that he gets to know Ygritte, so he has sympathy for her, so he brings them through the wall and does all of that, isn't it easier path to like send him mind-altering visions? Like, because if you're sending mind-altering visions to Qhorin to get him to do all this shit or whatever, I have no idea why Qhorin would ever agree to this, to his fucking plans. Why wouldn't you just do that to Jon? Send mind-altering visions to Jon, make him like wildlings, have him capture some wildlings and interview him and get to know him or something. There must be another way than than the Qhorin half hand plan of for also keep in mind that timeline wise, like the Great Ranging goes on for more than half a year, like 8 months. So you're just like Jon wandering around the wilderness for all this fucking time in hopes that he'll fall in love with a wildling and gain sympathy. It's it's something where I'm having even trouble right now, like describing everything because I'm so flabbergasted in how the plot makes no sense for the Qhorin half hand Jon story. So the but I do recognize that I think other people were also fascinated by the fact that the Qhorin half hand story doesn't make any sense. And so they were looking for other ways to make it make sense. So my method in the schemes of the half hand was somehow he was connected to the master planners, Ford planned it all kind of thing. He's getting visions from time traveling Bran or Bloodraven or whoever that tell him that no, we need Jon. We need Jon to understand the wildlings for the master plan to work. So we need to have Jon infiltrate. And the only way to have him infiltrate is to go into the north and rescue a wildling girl and not to execute her, and then have him kill you, Qhorin, and betray everybody and go over to the wildlings so that later he can come back and become Lord Commander and then have sympathy for the wildlings and bring Tormund through the wall and all of that. Like that was the only path. Was And so the other route that people go with is that Qhorin is secretly some agent that knew Rhaegar and that knew about prophecy. So say, they believe that Qhorin Halfhand is Arthur Dayne, or they believe that Qhorin Halfhand is Gerald Hightower, and that somehow even though these are fairly recognizable faces from tourneys, they go to the Shadow Tower hoping that there's no other knights who have ever been to a tourney that have ever seen Arthur Dayne or Gerald Hightower. And they live there for years, knowing that eventually Jon is going to join the Watch and that they would somehow be the protectors of Jon because they believe he's a prophecy baby, that he's the prince that was promised. Like they're all totally on board with the fact that Jon is a prophecy baby and that he's the prince that was promised, and that they join the Night's Watch and wait for 15 years and the Great Ranging to initiate, in order for them to then lead Jon on his prophecy. The thing is both of these theories, whether I go with like Qhorin Halfhand was getting visions from time traveling Bran, or we go with it's secretly dudes that are totally into Rhaegar's prophecy baby. They both seem to be on this path of, no matter how fucking crazy and convoluted the events are, it was meant to be. And that's kind of the fault of both of the things, that no matter how fucking convoluted and crazy, it was all meant to be because of fate, and I can't really think of anywhere else in the story, and for so long, that the story gets this convoluted, where people's motivations from chapter to chapter contradict and just go nuts. Like, I think having the master torturer in the party who then doesn't want to torture somebody is really fucking crazy. So crazy that I don't know how George wrote that without it being intentional. Or it's just a huge fuck up. There's also the idea, and in getting to what Robert Strong says here, Stone Snake will return. And that's the thing is, it may be that George, and I'm leaning towards this being the truth, because I have my schemes of the half hand theory, and then there's all the Qhorin is Arthur Dane shit, and like I say, they're kind of both the same thing. They both rely on, it doesn't matter that this is all convoluted. We admit that this is all convoluted, but it's fate, and that the characters involved are manipulating events in time for fate, either in a prophecy sense or in a time travel sense, sitting in a tree thing. It's some that the only way out of this convoluted plot is magic, is literally fucking magic and prophecy and fate. That's the only way to make the events work. I think everyone agrees that there is no way to possibly logically explain the events of A Clash of Kings, the Qhorin Jon story. Like it's so far gone on what a human being would do. Like even in the sense of like, why was Jon included on the ranging party? Like there is no explanation, no logical explanation. I mean, we know the real reason is that, well, Jon's the point of view, right? And so he's got to be on the ranging party. He's the main character. But now I'm thinking that George mystery boxed this shit. That he had all these events happen. And he was like, Qhorin Halfhand, I bet he's going to have some sort of real true motivation and some sort of crazy backstory. And eventually I'm going to reveal that. He's going to speak a whole bunch of cryptic shit. He's going to be like, oh, the old powers are awakening and the trees have eyes now. And at the time, this is Clash of Kings. George doesn't even know what that fucking means, right? Bloodraven isn't in the story yet. Like he doesn't understand any of this. He kind of just vaguely understands that there's some magic going on. Maybe time travel, Bran time travels maybe part of this. He was thinking about glass candles in a classic Clash of Kings, but then he aborted that idea. And so he recognized that there was a bunch of mystical, mysterious stuff going on. And it's a mystery box, and we'll keep Stone Snake alive. He'll run off. And he'll have all the answers. And when I come up with the answers, Stone Snake will come back and tell everybody what the fuck Qhorin Halfhand was doing. But then Qhorin Halfhand just kind of, disappears even as a thought. Like he's mentioned, I'm trying to think, like, even his bones disappear, by the way. Because they were carrying around his bones. And then he just disappears. Qhorin's mentioned in Jon 1 a bunch, Jon 2, and then is that it? I mean, they mention him, but like the plot of Qhorin, no one dwells on what Qhorin was doing and what his words meant. Like the old powers are awakening and things like that. Not that they didn't know that already. Like before they went on the Great Ranging, they knew that the fucking White Walkers were back. All of that wasn't necessary. Like, for Qhorin to be like, tell the old bear, the old powers awaken, the trees have eyes. They knew that shit. They knew that. That wasn't new. And it turns out there was no sorcery at all. The horn had nothing. So I think that, yeah, Stone Snake is the mystery box possibility, but the story's moved on. Like is there a point to bringing Stone Snake? I mean, in the fanfic there will be. I think Stone Snake's going to return in the fanfic, and he's going to, but man, I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't very articulate tonight in explaining like everything with Qhorin. It's mainly this just absolutely flabbergasted by the events um, that occur. Where if any human being could explain, like logically speaking, like no, it totally makes sense that Qhorin would want Jon. And it would totally make sense that he would want that direwolf along. It totally makes sense that they would bring along a master torturer and then not torture Ygritte. You know, and it totally makes sense that they would want to rescue Ghost and then not want to rescue Ghost and then sacrifice human beings to because of Ghosts and give themselves over to the wildlings. But you can try, but um the Wayward Bride is still worse. Any Dornish chapter. See, at least the motivations of the Dornish characters. I mean, maybe not Doran. Like you could say that Doran, without the Dornish master plan, the motivations of Doran don't make any sense. But the motivations of the Sand Snakes and Arianne, although a bit reckless, there is a logic to them. You know, they want something, and their actions lead towards what they want. Well, and Wayward Bride, I mean, Wayward Bride's great. You know, we get some great, good sex scene. Everybody loves a good sex scene, man. Wayward Bride, and the Wayward Bride's got that battle. The battle, on the other hand, you know, was Quentin the worst? Quentin's not at all the worst. I mean, the Dragon Tamer chapter is great. Euro-friendly stream. I think there'll probably be a Euro-friendly stream. I don't know. I'll try to come up with one soon. But I was about to be like, oh, in 2 weeks I'll be. No, I won't be. I'll be in New York. Any plans for the 1000th video? So Bailey is pointing out that I am approaching 1,000 videos. I think I'm at 981. And so, yeah, I think for 1000th video, I'll probably do some sort of going back and looking at how many videos I made of a certain type and what they were about and how important they are and stuff like that. So I do think I'm going to do something for the 1000th video. There's a couple of that one, and I mean it may be a while before I get to the halfway video for the fanfic, but the halfway point for the fanfic is coming, but that might be a year away. So we'll see. I disagree. I love the chapters. I mean they might be paced well, but it is fucking sloppy, and that the plot doesn't make any sense. They're goated. Oh, the reason the others are marching south is because Qhorin actually violated the ancient treaty by ranging too far north. So Qhorin is famous for having ranged farther than any other ranger. But he seems shocked by the thing. One of the things I would say going against the Preston Jacobs schemes of the half hand video is the fact that like Qhorin and his buddies seem good and shocked when Jon reveals that he's a warg. They're all like, "Oh, warg! Oh, geez! Oh, old powers are awakening! Oh, I told the story about a tree! Oh, geez!" If they were getting nonstop visions from time traveling Bran or whoever, they wouldn't have been shocked. So I don't know, you know. So what are your thoughts on Dorne's separation? And is there any significance to the similarities between Viserys II's separation? Hota 3 soon. So if I were full Dornish master planning it, I would say that like Doran's separation is a bunch of mumbo jumbo lies, and that He's still on good terms with his wife, and that's why he was able to send Garen. I think Garen goes there. Um, um, either that or it's Dre. I forget if it's which one. Let's see. Let me look it up again. Yeah, no, Dre is sent to Malario, right? And Dre is the one who, I mean, Dre is probably the one who cut Marcella. I'm not sure if it's him or Silva, but it's probably Dre who cut. Um, and so it has to be, like the idea that he gets sent to live with his wife, Lady Malario. Like if you were on bad terms with your ex, would you really send like Andre Dalt there um, as like punishment? Wouldn't she be like, "What are you fucking doing? Like, why is my ex husband sending this shit to me? Like, why is this guy here?" So if I like in my full Dornish master plan mindset, he's actually on good terms with her. That said, there was a So Spake Martin specifically about um, Doran's relationship with Malario. And what's funny is George goes on this long, really weird um uh like long story about their divorce, their separation. Um which I've got to get to here. It's where he starts talking about like that the relationship was like passionate and then like stops and let me see if I can find it. Here we go. I found it. This is somebody else reporting on. I found this. It wasn't a good marriage. They married because of an attraction to something new and exotic. Sometimes attraction happens when you least expect it. He was a prince of a distant country, and she was a woman full of life who was very appealing, who came from a different culture. When he comes to Dorne, she finds that there are customs that are different from those of Norvos, especially regarding the fostering away of children to others. This wasn't a political marriage nor a magical one. It was simply an example of human nature. Sometimes relationships start off on a good foot. You become acquainted. There's a sexual attraction. You establish a relationship, you marry, and then in 4 or 5 years, you realize that you don't really have anything in common. That at best, you've made a mistake, and you're in a situation that doesn't have an easy solution in a society such as the Seven Kingdoms, where divorce simply isn't common. This is an example that it's not only of marriages of convenience that fail, but even marriages of love can fail. It's like, okay, clearly that's George talking about his ex-wife. Okay, he was married for about 4 or 5 years. Um, clearly he's just like there's no way that he had in his back pocket Dorne and Malario's like marriage, like in that detail, and didn't fucking put it in the book, right? Like he just decided to like spew out like his feelings on Gail, his ex-wife, right there, and be like, oh, you get this, you have this marriage of attraction, and then you realize you have nothing in common, and you're just like, oh, like of course he's fucking talking about his ex-wife here. But even if you take this as truth, it doesn't really make sense. Like Malario's actions don't make any sense. She's angry that she's angry that Quentin is sent away. So she then abandons all of her children and goes back to Norvos, which like what? like I'm so upset that you are separating me from my son that I am now going to abandon my other daughter and son. Like what? Like what? Like it makes no sense. It's one of it's one of these moments where yeah, um the my only way to reconcile it is to Dornish Master Planet. That Malario is in on it all. She doesn't really have that hard feelings. That yes, she is totally on board with his Rhoynish restoration movement and you know making it so Ariane will be queen of the Seven Kingdoms. That she's totally on board. Because their actions don't make any sense. They don't make any sense at all. But as similarities between Viserys is the second separation with the woman from Rogare from House Rogare, that one. I have to look up like how their wedding went, how their right. He married something like Lara Rogare. They had 3 children. Lara never felt happy at court. She left Viserys and their 3 children, returned to Lyce, an experience that made Viserys stern. And then Viserys had Aegon. See, it's yeah. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand Lara Brugare's move like ideas either. Like these very like simple things like, well, she doesn't feel comfortable at court and therefore she like abandons her children. Like you need a better reason than that. Like, you know, like there was massive fighting between her and her husband and, you know, she felt unhappy day to day. It's, you know, it's either that or you just have to accept that like do none of these characters have any affection for their kids, that they all have these like very distant political marriages where their kids are getting raised by nannies and helpers and they just don't even think about them and they're just like, well, I'm just not comfortable here, so I'm just going to go home. You know, really, after how long did it take you to birth those kids? Like after like 6 years or whatever at court, you're just gonna abandon your children. um like I'm trying to think of like even something like Malario of Norvos. She when does she abandon um like when does she abandon and go and return to Norvos? Does it say? Because like Ariane has I mean it's going to be shortly after Quentin is fostered, right? And so Quentin is fostered in about 280 289, something like that. I mean 290 he already writes the letter. I just couldn't like a woman abandoned like Tristane is 2 at that point. Like are you really abandoning like a 2-year-old child because you're upset about Quentin getting sent off fostering? It just makes no sense at all. On Hotath 3. Yeah, Hotath 3, it's with editors, we're working on it, trying to add some more characterization to each of the people telling the story. The stories are like the story you know the chapter's been put together. We have the 5 stories, but you know, getting to know each of the storytellers is an issue. So we're trying to trying to work on that, but it's coming along. It's coming along. You know, it's like each time it's like, sorry for the delay. Like I spent a lot of time thinking and worrying and rewriting um, fanfic stuff. So, oh, Preston, who killed? Hello, Trey. Hello, how are you?
Hello, hello. I hope I'm not interrupting
No, no, no,
anything.
no. Let me add a
I
box.
called in. I called in to be a contrarian with and like I was looking through all the information and you're totally right. Like I was gonna be like, well, Stone Snake is whatever, and then actually you're like 100% right. I'm looking at like the Dance with Dragons appendix, and like he very clear. George has very clearly done like he's got little brackets
Yeah,
for when a character's dead, and Stone
Stone
Snake is
Snake
not in
does
there.
not have the bracket.
I was like, I could have sworn he was in the bracket. And I was like, no, he's not. He's not in the bracket, and it's his lost foot in the Skirling Pass. So like, I think you're right that he like definitely has left the door open. That Stone Snake's still
It's like Quentin is alive.
alive. I thought you were a crazy person. I thought you were like, oh, this is pressed to overanalyze. I'm like, no, I'm actually convinced. I'm like, yeah, he left it open at the very least.
um. So Hyman, hey Preston, who killed Hyman Lee? I so I am from Baltimore, and I listened to Serial, and I was totally into it. It was a very great series. And who killed Hyman Lee? Yeah, it was Adnan. Like he killed her. There was just no like. I understand that like you could add all of this other weird mysteries and stuff, but every interview that I heard where Adnan was talking and she talked to Adnan, like he's just nuts. That guy is nuts. That guy's crazy, and it's very clear he's crazy, and it's very clear that he killed her. I'm sorry, like to me, and the weird thing is, somebody once told me or I'm sorry, one of the interviews in Serial was like another guy from his mosque, and like the other guy, he had gotten into this like he and Adnan were having like a beef, and he like goes over and he's just like he's ready to like fight Adnan. He's like, man, like how could you do this and this and this? And Adnan just like goes over and kisses him on the cheek, and the guy's like, it just showed like what a warm heart he had, you know? And it's like, no, that just shows me that guy is fucking nuts. Like who would do that at like with someone you're beefing with? That's not how you resolve things. Like that's just like odd. No, he totally killed. He totally killed Hyman Lee. I'm sorry. But I've been to that area of town. I've been to that Best Buy where they worked at. I've very very familiar with that area, and yeah, no, Adnan is the killer the whole time. Is he still in jail? Adnan Syed, is he? Did they let him out? He was convicted. His conviction was vacated in 2022, leading to his release. Um,
Oh,
and then it was reinstated, and it was formally reduced to time
reinstated. What
served.
goofy?
Yeah.
Oh,
So he got out of jail.
he got out of jail.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, he totally killed her. So, sorry. Um. So what's been going on, Trey? Are you still you're back in Atlanta? You're done with New
I
York?
am. I'm done with New York. I came back from it was like a 2.5 months in New York, and I'm back in Atlanta. And I got news that I'm going to have to relocate way sooner than I thought, being
So
kicked out. So
okay. I was about to say
not
because
fun.
I'm gonna be in New York in like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, we're already gone. But
Oh
so
shoot.
yeah, but just for a few days. But So your is your family's like time to make your own living, that kind of thing? Is that the
It was way we I knew it was like we had agreed that it was gonna happen, but, somebody went back on their word and has given me less like a month less to be ready. So now I'm frantically panicking to find places
1 month? I
in a
mean,
new
geez, 1 month.
city.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
Okay,
basically yeah, the idea I basically have until January 1st
okay.
to leave, so we'll see. I'm very stressed out. I talked
Oh,
to
I
Carmine earlier,
imagine.
and
I
he knows.
imagine. So that means you got to
Yeah.
find a new location and um, either put together a video for some cash. You've got to make some money, or find a job.
Yeah, I have a lot saved up, and then I have money still coming in from residuals and stuff. I was working on a very big, ambitious video, but it might have to wait until after I'm just, like, so busy trying to
Yeah,
figure this stuff out. And it's gonna take a while too, so it's like,
yeah.
it's a long video. It's gonna be, like, over an hour and
Now, one of the interesting
everything.
things and you
So
know what I'm talking about is that having done this for so long, is that you get to the point where now the residuals are a sizable chunk. Like,
yeah.
so, like, um, for me, 1/3 of my income is legacy videos, like previous videos I did that are still earning a little bit of money,
Mhm.
like, and so when you have like as somebody posted earlier, like, what are you going to do for your thousandth video? Like, you just, when you've got 1,000 videos, you know, 10 cents here, 50 cents here, $1 here, 10 cents here, like that adds up. And that's like a crazy thing about like the about everything. So
Yeah.
you're still pulling stuff in, like stuff that you made like 5 years ago, right?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Stuff that's been, like, even longer, like 8 or 7 or something like that. It's nice. So, I'm not, like, as worried as, I don't know, somebody else in my position where I also have a lot of money saved. So, yeah, I've kind of been my hand's been forced that I'm gonna move to Pittsburgh, I'm pretty sure, unless, another option pops up. So,
The
yeah.
most beautiful city in America.
I know, because it was, like, either I don't know, I, like, was trying to pick place where I have friends, and so I have friends in Pittsburgh, I have friends in Brooklyn, but Brooklyn, it's too expensive, and then
Brooklyn's
I'd
very
have to
expensive.
really
Yeah.
find, like, a roommates, and it's just really short notice, so, yeah, I'm going to beautiful Pittsburgh. I liked Pittsburgh when I was there. It's kind of
No, no,
pretty.
like the
Probably
people of
not
Pittsburgh.
now.
People of Pittsburgh are great. It's just a very ugly city, in my opinion. But like, I it's not like I have anything against people from Pittsburgh. I think they're great. I think Carnegie Mellon is a great university. I think there's so many great things about Pittsburgh. But man, it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel that great to look at. That's all. You know.
Oh god, okay, maybe I shouldn't move there, I don't know, I was gonna do, like, a 5-month lease or something, I don't know, and I got very few, because I was, like, putting out the feelers for roommates and just nobody, it's either that or, like a single like, I think I'm gonna have to get a single place, so
I will here. I'm gonna send you a message on Discord about where I might be moving, but it's not official yet.
okay, okay. Oh, man.
Yes, yes. But
That's
that's not
exciting,
like,
shoot.
not even like next year. That would be in like 2 years.
Hmm,
But we have to figure that out. But yeah, yeah. And
that's awesome.
that'll change my videos. I'll tell you that. So.
Oh, man.
So what happened to Rob's and Greywin's bodies? Did Roos or the Freys keep them as war trophies? Maybe a cloak made of their skin. So this is one of those things where, so a lot of fans have pointed out, the direwolves in the story are rather large, how is it that Grey Wind's head was sewn onto Rob's body to mock it when it's a direwolf head? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe Grey Wind didn't actually die, and they just killed a regular wolf to put it on his head in order to make it work. Um, and and that I'd just be like, George made a mistake. Okay, he forgot that direwolves are much bigger, or his direwolves are much bigger. Because didn't we look this up, that direwolves aren't actually even that big?
No, no, historic dire wolves are about the size of a gray wolf.
Yeah,
Like the idea that they're giant, I think, is invented by George, or George misunderstanding something else. Like
yeah.
they were never giant. This idea that if you look up dire wolves, there's tons in the La Brea tar pits, and yeah, their skulls are like this big. They're not that big. They never were big. I don't know
Well,
where
that would
this
be
like
easy. That's easy to sew on. But
and it's affected that like colossal, like that like the resurrecting direwolf project where like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
people are like, why aren't they big? Why aren't they giant? And it's like
Right. This is this thing
they
about
never
like
were.
pop culture being stronger than than like real history. Like even today, like you've seen the movie Amadeus.
Yeah.
Great movie, but completely fictionalized. And so in the movie, Salieri murders Mozart, which did not happen in real life at all. Like Salieri did not murder Mozart. Okay, like that's just. And I remember years ago, I was watching Northern Exposure. That was the uh, show about show where this doctor has to go to Alaska, and in the Northern Exposure show, there's this like philosophical hippie guy played by the love interest from Sex and the City, but he's like young at the time, and he plays like he's like the radio disc jockey, and he's like constantly being philosophical, and he's like talking to this one woman, and she's like she really loves Italian, the Italian language, but the dumb girl from the bar like can speak it instantly, but she's been struggling with it. And he's like, and he tells the story about Salieri and Mozart. And he's like, Salieri was just like in envy of Mozart's like genius. And then at the end, she's like, but Salieri killed Mozart. And he's like, yeah, I know. And it's like, clearly both of those people either watched the movie and thought that was fact, or the writer watched the movie and thought that was fact. But now it's just like fucking in there that, oh, Salieri killed Mozart. No, we didn't. Like, I suppose over time it'll fade. I mean, the movie will fade and real history will stay.
No, no, it's gonna be the opposite. It's like Roman history, like how like the fake stuff is what catches on.
Like Nero
Like,
fiddling, that kind
yeah,
of like while Rome burned.
yeah, yeah. How like what's his name? Josephus is like, yeah, the positive history is on Nero, and it's like gone, never existed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's certainly a possibility that they're like,
Oh
well,
God.
at the time, pop culture stuff said that Mozart. The argument that I've heard a lot is like, well, they were closer to the events than we are, so we should trust their opinion because they would know. And you're like,
Mm.
so like in 1,000 years, they're going to be like, well, the 1990s were not that far from when Mozart lived, and they must have a better idea than we do. So, uh, oh, oh,
Let me see.
um,
Like, yeah, I'm looking at this 1791 to 1990. Like a historian, an ancient historian would look at that and be like, "That's not bad. That's not bad date
yeah,
wise."
yeah. Considering
Yeah,
that like the
yeah.
histories of Nero are all like 150 years after he, like Suetonius is like is like a good 150 years after after Nero, and we believe everything Suetonius said, it's fuck. You're right that like fucking Northern Exposure and all these the movie Amadeus is gonna be fucking taken as fact. God damn it.
That's 200 years. That's not bad. 200 years is not bad for a historian. You're right. Like, yeah.
But with regards to like Rob and Graywin's bodies, I think that the most insulting thing you could probably do to a body like Rob's is throw it in a pauper's grave with all of the other bodies so that it can never be recovered and it can never be revered and no one can ever worship it. The ultimate, that is the ultimate kind of insult that the phrase could do. I understand that like keeping them around as war trophies would be fun and stuff, but like it's even more insulting to just be like you're in a mass grave with everybody else.
Hmm.
So I kind of think that that's the simple answer, that Rob and Graywin's bodies are just in a mass grave with everybody else that died at the Red Wedding. And right, because we don't hear about. I mean, the other answer is that they threw it in the river. I mean, they threw Catalan's body in the river for some reason. Why wouldn't they throw like everybody's body in the river? So maybe if they think it's insulting to throw the body in the river, but um,
Hmm.
why did they throw Catalan's body in the river? That's just. I mean, I understand that like so plot wise, she could be resurrected when she gets pulled out by Nymeria and found by Thoros, but there's no real reason that they would do that.
I thought it was to mocking the Tully burial practice, like the
Oh, is
boat.
that it? To actually do their burial
I think I
practice
heard of.
is mocking it.
I, I think that's like the fan thing. Is that something said in the text? Let me see, Catlin. Like, let's see if like the Song of Ice and Fire wiki will help me here. I've heard this. I don't know if it's in the text or if it's like a fan theory that it's like, yes, and a mocking ritual of yeah. Let's see. After dead for a day and a night. Yes, yes. In a mockery of Tully's funeral customs. Apparently that's in Tyrion 7.
He must have just made that up, though. Let me see here. Hold on. Like, how would he know? They dumped her in the button. They dumped her body naked into the Green Fork, and then Tyrion. This is one of those situations where it's like we want to convey information to the audience, so Tyrion's just gonna think it, and we're just gonna like accept it. Um, the most he could do is shield her from the uglier details of the Red Wedding. Sansa did not know, nor how. Oh, Sansa did not need to hear about how her brother's body had been hacked and mutilated, he decided, nor how her mother's corpse had been dumped naked into the Green Fork in a savage mockery of House Tully's funeral customs. The last thing. It's not really a.
He
I
must have
mean,
heard it for some. Yeah,
but also like it's not really
you're
a
right that
savage
it's not.
mockery. Like, isn't the funeral custom like they're on a boat and then they like shoot the flaming arrow into it?
I
How
guess
is
the mockery is that she's naked this time. She's naked and without a vote. Like they just throw her body. You're right that it's like barely a mockery. Like
and
it's
it's not that
barely a mockery.
savage. Like there's a lot worse they could have done. Okay, like there's a lot worse they could have done. They could have paraded her naked body around town. Okay, that's worse than dumping her naked body in the river. Like, they could have cut her into a million pieces and fed her to dogs. That's a lot worse. Like dumping her in a river naked.
Were there
Like
Viking funerals without ships? Let's see. Were there Viking funerals without ships? Uh,
savage mockery.
Savage mockery. Like I'm trying to see if like you could do it without a ship. That's the thing. Most ships were not burned; they were put in a burial mound. I don't know.
I mean, maybe
That's
you see
funny.
if what would have been savage is if they would if they let her body float and then they started shooting arrows at it. That would have been a savage mockery.
Yeah.
But they only dumped her like See, if they said like dumped her body naked and then shot arrows at it in a savage mockery, that would have been better.
You're right that it'd be like in a savage mockery of the drowned god. They put the body in water. They dump the body in water. Like you're right that like the body's going in the same place in the same way. Yeah, that's I don't know if it works, George.
Because that's the thing is like the Tully funeral practice, which by the way, like, eventually that boat is just gonna like fall apart downriver and the body is just gonna like end up in the river. Like it's just
It it's always but the funeral practice has always bothered me because I'm like the wouldn't the trident get like really congested with the ruined boat if you're doing this for every Tully for like 1,000 years or whatever. Like, isn't that river gonna get clogged? You're gonna have to dredge it, you know?
I
Maybe
mean,
it's too
just think
deep.
of think of the poor
Maybe
like
less.
small folk who's like, fuck another Tully fucking boat, and he's got to fucking clean up that dead body that's like it's like jammed in the reeds on his land, and he's like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
gotta like fucking like break down this boat and pull out this fucking hopefully charred, but probably not even that charred like body. God, that what a pain. And where's River
Well,
Run? Because
I just
it might float like those boats might float to like the fucking in at the cross or not the inn at the crossroads, the inn at the kneeling man. And they're just like, oh, we gotta
oh my
fucking clean
gosh.
up another goddamn boat.
Yeah, let's look at yeah, it does. It does. Because yeah, is it on the tri it's on the trident? It's the confluence of the Tumblestone and Redford. You're right that it because those rivers look shallow because Brienne like jumps off the boat and throws a rock and then jumps back on the road. It can't
Yeah,
be
there's
too big, right?
fords. There's definitely fords.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Because even with the Mississippi, when I saw the Mississippi this spring, like it's all congested with like ruined boats and tree logs and stuff. Like even a river that huge gets congested. So it's like, yeah,
That's
the burial
that's
customs
a
they always kind of
sucky.
bother me.
It's a really sucky funeral custom. Like, Maelys and Tyrion have the same arc. Maelys was raised in Tyrosh and rejected, so he sacked the city and died in revenge. Tyrosh um, equals Casterly Rock, King's Landing. Thoughts? This is like Maelys the Monstrous. Um, hmm. I mean, so most of what we know of Maelys is from kind of secondary sources of like previous drafts of A Dance with Dragons, where we find out that Maelys actually had children and then like burned his own children in order to like fulfill prophecy and but the similarities between Maelys and Tyrion I think have to do with the fact that like Maelys is ugly. And in the previous drafts of A Dance with Dragons, they sort of say, well, the reason that Maelys was unsuccessful is because no one wanted to follow a guy with a head growing out of his neck who was gross. Um, and so, which is why Aegon is a much better choice because he's handsome. And so Tyrion has this problem. Like, even if he convinces people that he is the true heir of Casterly Rock, and even if he convinces people that he's super intelligent and everything like that, he's still a noseless dwarf, an ugly noseless dwarf. And people, no one wants to follow that. Like, you need to have some sort of charisma. Um, so I mean, maybe if he were as handsome as Peter Dinklage, but he's not. And so I think that there's a similarity in the sense that like Tyrion cannot really be successful because he's not in the right package, which I suppose
Hmm.
speaks to the idea that Tyrion would want to join the Dany cause because she's packaged correctly for his desires, and he can sort of like he can't do it himself, but he can put forward this um, uh, avatar in his place, that he thinks he can manipulate. So, I mean, not that.
Is it's I'm surprised Tyrion hasn't had like a nose, a fake nose or something like that made. Like, isn't it kind of weird that they've never brought that up even? Like, has anybody brought up like to give him a fake nose, a prosthetic nose?
You're right. You probably
Because
should, or just
I
cover it
know
up too.
historically there,
Well,
yeah.
the thing is, like
I
most
know
people, when
historically
people get
there's
their
like
eyes
a
cut out, they wear an eye patch because they understand that walking around with a big gross ocular cavity, like, grosses people out, and that if you have an eye patch, you're gonna make it through life better. He's in the same situation with his fucking nose. Like, no one like wants to go around seeing some dude with a cut off nose where you can go look straight into his nasal cavity that's all pink and
yeah.
shit. Um, he should be wearing like a nose patch or something over his nose.
Yeah. Because like I know historically there's people that lost their nose like what is it, Copernicus's like sponsor,
Hmm.
what was his name? He wore like a golden nose.
Oh,
Sponsor golden nose, and like it feels like something George would know about, right?
there is
Like
an episode that,
Tycho. Tycho, his name's Tycho, like Tycho Nestoris. He
like,
needs to know him.
Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah. Yeah. Tycho Brahe. Tycho Brahe.
Oh, weird.
Sh- should know about this guy. Yeah, where he lost his nose. I don't know how he lost his nose. Maybe I don't know. Like, how did he lose his nose? Lost a part of his nose in a duel, so he wore a
Oh,
golden prosthetic.
they there is
Or
an
brat.
infamous episode of Quantum Leap, probably the worst, the worst episode of Quantum Leap, like plot wise,
Oh,
where Sam jumps into the younger body of himself in high school, and he finds out that in real life, his high school sweetheart is going to eventually marry the opponent on the other basketball team who is missing his nose, and he wears a prosthetic nose. And Al is like looking at the future, and he's like, oh, she marries him, they have a couple kids, and he's like, oh, ends in divorce. And so they decide that, like, they need to change fate, that she never marries this guy. And so, if he wins the basketball game, that'll change the trajectory of things. And at the end of the episode, he's like, do we get married? And Al's like, no, but at least she doesn't marry no nose. But the thing
ooh.
is, he does mention in that episode that they had a couple kids. So they, like, in that episode, he retroactively goes back in time and erases these kids from existence because he doesn't like this guy because he doesn't have a nose. It's a whole, like, crazy, like, Quantum Leap episode.
There's literally a South Park episode about this where it's like the post-COVID episode where Cartman grows up and he grows up into a very nice man. He becomes Jewish and has a Jewish family with Jewish kids, and Kyle hates him, and Kyle is divorced, or he has like an Alexa as like his wife, and he's miserable, and they go back in time to stop COVID or whatever, and they undo Cartman's children in a happy future. It's
Oh,
like that. It's a joke. It's played up as a joke because Cartman deserves it in their minds. Like they're like, yeah,
brutal. Uh, um, let's see. Torture can take days and is very noisy. This is about uh, why they didn't torture Egret. Um, that's a better. I mean, I admit, Caleb, your argument is a better argument than what's given in the book. Unfortunately, like the thing, like I understand that, like, you were writing it and that was the reason. That's a better one, but I believe the reasoning is given. Um, let's see here. The girl watched him warily, but Stone Snake gave a Morden's chuckle. It's the it's the captive supposed to tell things, remember? The ranger thrust a long branch into the fire. Not that she will. I've known wildlings to bite off their own tongues before they'd answer a question. Even though the entire reason that they're on the quest is because they tortured a wildling who gave up the information that Mance Rayder is hiding something and that he's finding some sort of sorceress relic. And the whole so they know that wildlings do give up information when tortured. But the idea he's like, oh, she's not. Egret seems like first of all, why is Egret someone that would not give up the information? They just look at her and they're like, well, that girl, she's got red hair and freckles. She's totally not going to give up the information. He's saying this because only based on the fact that she's a wildling. But even though they're on a quest, because wildlings talk. Not that she will. I've known wildlings to bite off their own tongues before they'd answer a question. When the end of the branch was blazing merrily, he took 2 steps and flung it over the pass. It fell through the night, spinning until it was lost into sight. That's it, like I think they probably could have
I think I think George is being very like he needs Jon and Egret to be together. So there's sometimes where George in the text does that, where he really, really needs this to happen. So he like
yeah.
contrives the world to make it, like I'm trying to think of another example where it's kind of like unrealistic in the text for things to happen the way they do, but he needs to have it. Like,
I mean, I say I think one of the biggest ones that doesn't make any sense is the Widow of the Waterfront all of a sudden
oh
changing her
yeah,
mind and and putting Jorah and Tyrion and Penny on a ship together. Like there's no
why is Penny coming with him? Yeah,
why is Penny coming, but also like her switching to all of a sudden, like she mistrusts them, and then all of a sudden, like after Penny attacks them, she says some comment like about Jorah being a true knight, and then is like, okay, fine, and you're like, what? Came out of nowhere.
yeah.
It's,
Oh.
but you know how much I hate that chapter, that Tyrion chapter, House of Dragons.
The statues had their heads knocked off, and they whatever
let's,
the
let's write a few pages on that. But yeah, torture. I mean, yeah. Had they given that explanation, maybe, but no. I'm gonna be honest. I've never understood how it made sense that Kat let Jaime go. Like, would she really have let him go, thinking that would work? The only explanation that I can give on this, because you're right that why would anyone trust Jaime Lannister, a man who pushed their son out the window? Okay, like no human being would do this. And it's amazing also in the text how many people immediately are like, well, they were caught and so he needed to do it and stuff like that. Like so many people are sympathetic to Jaime and Cersei and their thoughts in that moment. While I think most people would be like, fuck them. Okay. Like what gross incest, pushing a child out a window. Like there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for pushing a child out a window. That's horrible. Okay. You're going to kill him, but instead now he's maimed and his penis doesn't work. And Hodor has to like pull the shit out of his colon. Like that's the situation that Jaime put Bran in. It's horrible. Okay. There's no fight. Like Jaime and Cersei, Jaime's no. Why would anyone ever trust Jaime? That's ridiculous. No human being would do that. I agree. However, Kat loses time before she goes and talks to Jaime. Let me pull up the quote. I'm trying to something strange happens to her. Is it how late is this chapter? Um, it's gonna be a hard one to find. My search. Yeah, here we go. Jamie lifted his cup, took a long saw. Okay.
I think you're right. You bring up something, Preston, that I don't think George fully understands what it's like to. I think most people don't fully understand what it's like to be paralyzed from the waist down
Oh no, yeah.
in pop culture. But yeah, yeah, like all the amount of stuff that you kind of do for it. Because yeah, I like there's a manga called Steel Ball Run, and like it's around the premise is around a former jockey who's paralyzed from the waist down, and he crosses the United States in like the 1890s. And like somebody asked him like, hey, like what does he do, like at the end of the day, does he need like his friend to like change him or help him use the bathroom and stuff? He's like, I didn't think about that. Like it's like I just didn't think. Because they're in the desert, they're in like the middle of nowhere constantly, like yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff about like comas as well. So I had a friend in college who went into a coma, and when I see comas in pop culture, I'm just like, oh my god, like you have no fucking clue. You have no fucking clue what comas are like. Like I went to the hospital and like I saw her in the coma, and if you're expecting these beautiful people sleeping there, that's not the situation, okay? You're talking like her head is shaved and she's got various tubes in order to deal with swelling, and she's like shaking and grinding her teeth,
mm,
and when she when she finally woke, um you know she was not the same person in any respect. If you don't wake up from your coma within the first week, like you're not going to be the same person when you do. And my
mm,
friend woke up 3 weeks later. So um
mm.
and so it's just like when I see coma stuff, I'm just like, oh my god, like no, that's just not how it works. Like that's not what a fucking coma
Yeah.
is. Like this beautiful way to like icebox your character and then have them wake up and be like, oh, so much time has passed. You're like, no, sorry. It's but
I
yeah,
think
it's
that's the
just
thing with George and handicapness. Like I think that's why, because you're right. Like Cat is way too like all the character, like not just Cat. I guess all the characters are like way too like doesn't have his legs. His legs don't work now, but everything else, like yeah, he really needs to sell like all that stuff, like the amount of work that goes into being handicapped like that.
yeah. I
So
mean, the thing is, I guess if you work around Hollywood long enough, you just kind of like fall into these tropes about the way the way various medical conditions are. Like some people are like, how what we think Tourette's is like, and like everybody that has Tourette's is just like, oh my god, it's nothing like that. Like, or autism, like
oh my
autism in
gosh,
movies is like this
movie
superpower,
autism.
like the superpower autism. Now I can I can win in Vegas with Dustin Hoffman. Um, let's see here. He says, I'm trying to think where, like, I'm trying to get to the point where like she definitely, let's see, I have to take no joy in the meet and mead. She's talking to Brienne, and then when did she? Maybe I'm confusing because she loses time with Hoster when she's with her father, Hoster Tully. That she definitely loses time with. But then I guess it's in the previous chapter that she loses time. Um, yeah. But yeah, no, it's yeah. Would any rational human being do it? Catalan did. No, no, no. It's pretty crazy and reckless. Like to think that would work. Um, like they're just not to be trusted. Um, has anyone suggested Qhorin picked Jon because he saw he was a warg? Not that there still aren't questions, but they. No, I mean that somehow the direwolf would have some sort of like magical abilities of some sort, or there would be some mystical magical connection. But the thing is like they genuinely seem surprised when Jon tells them of the warg dream. Um,
With like the mammoths, where he's like, I saw
yeah,
the mammoths. Yeah, because yeah, I thought that was the reason why they brought him. It's because of the mammoths. They're because he would be good as a scout. But you're right. If they're surprised, then they have no reason to bring Jon. It's weird. Like Jon and Ghost. That's another thing where like it's kind of contrived that Jon and Ghost like Ghost should have been killed. Like Ghost should have been killed or blocked from being places. Like
I mean, there's so many things. Like I mean, if you were running a military organization, okay, would you let someone join with their dog? Like,
no,
it's not like you
no,
could just
like
bring
why?
your dog to the army. Like that's just not a thing. And you can't bring your dog to prison. But for some reason, Jon is allowed to join the Night's Watch with his fucking direwolf, which attacks people. It attacks people regularly. Attacks Alistair Thorne. Why the thing isn't killed, and why they're just like, yeah, no, let's bring it wrong. I mean, I suppose it must hunt
It
for
needs
food. That's a
food.
good thing.
Let's see. A gray wolf needs about 3 to 4 pounds of food per day. Like
But they're
who's feeding
bringing.
Ghost?
I think the wolf is
Like
bringing, maybe killing
yes,
more
Ghost
food
is
and
hunting
bringing
for
it
himself.
to Jon, and they're like, well, I guess this wolf earns its keep or something.
The
Maybe
wildlings should have killed it. The,
it's
the
also
wildlings should have killed this stupid.
that's true. That's true. Like the wildlings
Or
should have arrived and been like, okay, we trust you, Jon, but this is a fucking monstrous beast. I think we should probably kill it. Like, right? Or does it?
it's
Yeah,
kind of it is kind of like Dany and her dragons too. Like in Karth, she
in
should have just
Karth.
gotten
Like, why
mobbed,
wouldn't
right?
everyone just take her dragons away?
Yeah, or an Astapor or whatever. Like
Oh
why
well, the Astapor
why don't
thing
they just spoil?
is outrageous. You know.
I reread that chapter and it's really frustrating to me that George took kind of the lazy route where he needs the slaver characters to be evil, so he makes like I don't know, Krasny's or whatever, like absurdly evil, where like he's insulting Danny in like the translator and stuff. He's like,
Right.
this dumb bitch, whatever. It's like, it's a very lazy trick of mine where like, I don't know. He like that's the problem. That's the problem with the Slaver's Bay plotline. I think like George went too racist. Like I think he went too racist.
And then he wants to like walk it back in A Dance with Dragons.
Yeah, and it's too late. It's too late.
And he does it the same with Dothraki too. Like he makes them like
Yeah.
so crazy. Like at the beginning of at the beginning of Game of Thrones, they're murdering people at weddings and having sex in public and like doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and then and eating hearts and shit. And then all of a sudden, it's got to be like this beautiful culture that Danny like loves. My Khalasar. Yeah, look, Viserys, I made you this painted vest. If only you wore this painted vest and understood their culture. They murder people at weddings and fuck outside and fucking eat massive hearts and like don't use money. Like, what do
enslave
you?
people. Yeah,
and
yeah. Their
and our
whole society is
slavers,
built to
like,
yeah. She should have been like, I love the Lazarine. The Lazarine.
the
Like
right,
huge.
the Lazarine culture. Now that's a culture. um, man, oh man. Precisely good or dumb an idea was the Great Ranging. How would the story immediately follow and change without it? The Great Ranging. The thing is, though, Trey, like the thing about, I will say, the strength of George with dialogue is that all of his characters have character. Like he makes them so extreme,
Mm.
and he gives them these idiosyncrasies that are so vibrant that you remember them all. Like Vargo Hout. Is it completely contrived that like Vargo Hout has like a swollen tongue and like can't talk and like worships a black goat and comes from this foreign land? But it's like, well, he wanted the character to stick out, you know? It's the same with like Rorg
He
and
rides
Biter.
the
Like
zebra.
you've run into a man who has no nose and also is so hairy that it looks like he's wearing like a fur coat, and his friend is bald and has teeth filed to the points. You're like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
really? Like that's. And another guy has like half his hair is white and half of his hair is red. Like it's the most colorful fucking like characters that you could possibly run into. Um, and so he's doing the same with Krasny. Like he has to make him so over the top so that you'll remember him. Like that's,
Right.
you know,
Because you're
uh,
right. Nobody remembers like the patriarch. Like remember later when she's selling the dragons, there's like this old guy who's like the patriarch of the Monoclos. I don't know what family it is, but like
yeah,
yeah, you're not memorable. Not
you're
he's
right. And
good at
like
names too.
I would say that like the most forgettable character in the story is probably Grolio, and yet Grolio
Mm.
is like supposed to be important, right? Like
Yeah.
Barristan's really upset when Grolio fucking gets killed, and you're like, Grolio didn't have a personality, so we've forgotten about Grolio. So fuck that guy. Like, sorry, George, you didn't give Grolio a personality. You know, we remember Strong Belwas. If you fucking kill off Strong Belwas, people are gonna fucking riot. You know, but like, but Grolio
You're
didn't get
you're
one.
you're so right that it's like he gives you're right. He has to give the character something that's memorable because if not, because I'm thinking about like Fever Dream. Fever Dream has like a proto Rorg in it. Like one of
Mm-hmm.
Sour Billy's henchmen is like a noseless big guy or whatever. And I just remember that. I'm like, yeah, I remember that he was noseless. He got bit off by an alligator. Like I retained that in my brain after years of not reading Fever Dream. Like it's so funny.
I mean,
Or
he
like I
knows he's
think of
got
like
good characters when he reuses them. You know,
or like when he reused that one character in the Tough Voyaging, he brought that one guy back. He's like, that guy was gold. That one random
oh, that
the
one
guy that was like
guy
racist against the Suthlum. He called them
that he runs
Sufis or
into on the
whatever.
bus or whatever, and he's just like, "Why are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
brought back for no reason?" But oh, the Great Ranging was.
Yes.
I mean, it's an outrageously bad idea. I mean, plot
We learned
wise,
that we realized just how bad it was when it lasts so long. Remember, we figured out that it like lasts like 9 months or something like
oh,
that
I
to
know. I
go
mean,
just to
I
like the
suppose
secret
if
event.
you marketed it as a massive training exercise, then maybe. Because I, you know, like if you expected them to all come back, they'd be like, everyone is now a fucking master ranger because they've been ranging for 9 months. You know, like they've like as a training exercise, it's brilliant. But like they know a lot about camping, um, and ranging north of the wall. But from a like a strategic like situation where we've got to figure out what the wildlings are doing. So we're going to take half our force and march them off into the forest. Um,
Yes.
yeah, that's. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't know why Mormont did that much. Because he wanted to fight. Did he know that Mance's numbers were that big at that time in
um,
game?
they knew it once they got to Craster's Keep, which is not very fucking far from the
What?
wall.
Yeah.
So there was no real reason to go further than that. The thing is, when you've got a wall that's so fucking huge, I feel like you don't need to go check up on people. Like, what's he fucking doing? Um, Unless, I mean, I guess if they all believed in sorcery, they're like, oh, we've got to find it. It's sorcery. But he wanted the great ranging
Doesn't know
before they
about
even
it.
knew about the sorcery. So
Yeah, they didn't know about the horn yet. So
yeah, it's not
like
until Qhorin
like
tortures the guy.
my only explanation is that like he knew that Mance's force was so big that he needed that big of a ranging of guys to kill him. Like, right? Like I guess like because why bring that many guys? Because that's you're right. It's half the watch. Is that the makeup of the Great Ranging?
I think it's 200 and 200. 200 from the Shadow Tower and 200 from
That's
the
a
Knights.
lot. That's a lot. That's too many.
I don't know where they're
No,
getting
it's
their food.
300. It's 300 swords from the Night's Watch, 200 from Castle Black, another 100 from the Shadow Tower. Okay, so it's 300 guys in total.
Yeah, 300 people.
Consisting of a third of the Night's Watch strength. But why? Like that's the thing is like
Thing is, you have the high ground. You have the strong position. You're on the fucking wall. If you're really worried about them attacking, but I think it's more he's convinced that there's some sort of sorcery because of the dead bodies attacking him. He's convinced that there's some
okay.
sinister other stuff going on with regards
Uh
to resurrection or something. But why is he searching for Mance Rayder then?
okay.
Does he think they're related? Because it turns out they're not. Well, they're vaguely related in the sense that Mance Rayder is able to organize people because they're running from the others. But like,
Look, I'm on the goals. I'm on the Song of Ice and Fire wiki here. The goals, the great ranging goals is to one, discover why the wildlings who live close to the wall are leaving their villages. Two, to learn more about Mance Raider. Three, to find Benjen Stark, Raymar Royce, and the other rangers that disappeared. That's probably real low on the priority list. And then four,
doesn't
to
make sense
discover
to send 300 people to find six or whatever.
to
That
discover further information on what caused Japper Flowers and Otho to rise as dead whites. That's the last one on at least on this wiki. You're right that like none of this necessitates 300 guys, a third of their strength. Like
the
all
thing is
these
they
things
all
could be.
fucking know the answer. Okay, they know that the fucking others exist. Like they've been spotting
Look.
the others. Like Cotter Pike
George
spots the
forgot about that
others.
one thing about spotting the others. He forgot about that. That because you're
Like they don't
right, you
need they
spoiled
don't
it too
need any
early.
explanation. Like, oh, maybe we shouldn't drag dead bodies that we find north of a wall into the castle. Okay, let's not do that anymore. Okay, cool. It's
So wait, yeah. At the end of Game of Thrones, Cotter Pike is like I saw others, like I literally saw them with my own two eyes.
yeah, yeah.
That's why did he do that? Why did George spoil that? Like that's too soon. That's too soon. Um, does Cotter Pike ever bring this up again? He should have brought that up at the vote at
You're
the.
right. You fucking idiots. Why weren't you listening to me?
It's like I saw fucking White Walkers with my own two eyes. Like we need to focus on real shit because like he doesn't really talk about that stuff. He's more focused on like bickering with and getting back
He's
at Sir
he's like, you
Dennis.
know what's more important than the fact that I fucking saw the others and dead bodies are rising? Snooty fucking people running the watch. Hi, Mr. Dennis Mallister. Ooh, I'm so snooty. Like, fucking Cotter Pike, man. uh anyway, super happy you're streaming tonight. Thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Um Most of the people traveling with Yoren to the wall seem so much younger than everyone else at the wall that we see through John's point of view. That is, I mean, it's true that we had this whole group of kids heading to the wall with Yoren. And when we get to the wall, it's not that we don't run into young men like John's class of whatever 15-year-olds and such, but we don't run into kids. We don't get any hot pies. We don't get any, uh, you know, Arya's, I
Lami,
mean, Ari's, her fake name, Ari. We don't, uh,
Lami Green
Lami
Hands.
Green Hands. I mean, isn't Weasel? Was she in the? Maybe they pick her up later. I forget
No,
what.
no, Weasel's picked up, I think, before it's like before they get picked up by what's it called? The Mountains Men.
Yeah,
Amory Lorch's men? The Mountains Men.
yeah. Um.
Gosh, you're so right about that shit about you get mixed up with like who's who in those Riverland plot. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It all blends. It all
Because you're
blends
right, you're
together.
right. It's Amory Lorch is the one that kills Yoren and kills most of the Night's Watch recruits. But then Arya and those kids escape and are captured by the Mountains Men,
That's right.
and then okay, and then the
And
Brave
then
Companions show up.
she deals with mainly the brave companions when she's with the Brotherhood without banners. Um, which it gets very confusing. I mean, the whole thing about I when I first finished the series and then I went back because my first dip into the fandom, everybody's just talking about John, 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 John. And so I was like, I'm going to focus on the chapters that
Mm.
no one fucking focuses on. Cause I was like, why do these brave companions keep coming back? Like I read A Feast for Crows and I'm like, why are the brave companions fucking back? And then I'm like, I'm going to really look at these Arya chapters because there's so many Arya chapters in A Clash of Kings and A Storm of Swords. And I reread them a million times to like get the Riverlands plot straight. And you're like going through on that first read, the difference between Amory Lorch, the Mountains Men, and the Brave Companions is very difficult to like, because it's just like a bunch of fucking crazy loons. Um. Anyway,
Preston, I'm learning I'm learning new characters each time we do this. There is a fourth orphan boy in Yoren's recruits named Tarver, and he's still alive.
what happens to
Tarver and
Tarver?
Cutjack, they take everything and abandon the other survivors. They're like survivors of the Amory Lorch attack, and they leave Arya, this orphan, which I'm assuming, yeah, one of the orphan boys. He's a little kid.
Huh? They just abandoned him. Huh?
Tarver,
Got to
Tarver.
bring him back. Got
He's
to bring him back. Fucking
he's still
Tarver.
he's with he's with Cutjack. They're still hanging out.
But I
I think
mean,
his cut.
you are right, Laney, in that when you would get to the wall, we don't really run into the children. The children have. Where are they? What are they doing? What do they do with the kids? You know,
We need
because I mean,
Ollie. We need Ollie.
they're not going to get through Alistair Thorne's like battle class, but Alistair Thorne's not going to like have them all get killed like Sam Tarley. So is there like a junior recruit thing where like little kids do stuff for a while, like Ollie or whatever, until they're like ready to go into the Alistair Thorne fighting class? Like what would have happened had Lami like it was is would Lami Greenhands gets there? Is Alistair Thorne shoving a sword into Lami Greenhand's hand and being like, "Okay, go"? Or are they like, "Well, come on, Lami, like let's give him a few years before that." More questions that need to be answered.
We're bringing him back. Oh,
Preston, you've ever been to Australia? I have never been to Australia. I've been to New Zealand. I've been
wow.
to East Timor. I've been to Indonesia. I've never been to Australia or Papua New Guinea. in that area. So, but I've never, yeah. One day, make it to Australia. Ukraine, I have been to Ukraine. I did a trip once from Kiev to Odessa and then out into Moldova and Transnistria. Israel, I've been to Israel about six times. I've been to Israel a bunch, but it's, I used to live in the Middle East. Been to the West Bank a few times too. Bow, 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 bow. If George R. R. Martin had kids, would he write Malario different? What else would be different in his writing if he had kids? There'd be a lot of
Cat,
different stuff. I mean,
cat,
there'd be a lot of stuff
Ned,
that's different. If he had kids.
Cersei, like
I mean, I don't think he would be writing Bran and Arya as adult as they are. There's mistakes he makes with Rickon and the character, like Rickon is running around as Walder and Walder's third, which just would not happen based on their ages. There's a lot of things that he get that then people's relationship with their children. I mean, granted, this is whatever we're talking about. These people, these highborn people that maybe have distant relationships with their kids, but I don't know. It's still very difficult to imagine, like going through when you go through like the Eddard story and the Catelyn story and the Jaime story and the Cersei story and how little they actually think about and consider their children is quite amazing to me. And yeah, maybe there are just a lot of people that don't consider their kids, but it's amazing that it's just like, it's all of them. Like none of them are thinking about their fucking kids. Davos is never fucking thinking about his goddamn kids. That's just,
or his wife.
Or his wife.
Stannis doesn't think about his daughter.
Yeah.
Cersei hates her kids. Who else? Like
you guys think I'm obsessed with Ice and Fire. My kids and wife occupy so much of my fucking life and so much of my thoughts. Like it's overwhelming. So it's just, yeah, there's just a lot of that where you're just like,
I feel like there should be so many things where like that reminds me of my kid. Like a character sees something and they're like, that reminds just like Arya we used to do. Like, but they only do it every now and then. Like
no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start thinking like how many times Kat is remembering some random memory at River Run between her and her sister and Littlefinger, and like once they were lost in the fog, she wouldn't be thinking about that. She'd be thinking about her fucking kids. like there's a lot of that where they're remembering all of these like really individual memories that have to do with loves and unrequited loves and stuff like that. And it's like, it's not that people don't have those thoughts. Obviously, we all have these thoughts. We all are still, for some reason, and thinking about embarrassments when we're 13 years old. Like those things pop into people's heads, like obviously. But I'll tell you, my thoughts are dominated by my kids. Like it's just, it is overwhelming. You run into other kids and you're like, oh gosh, like, your kid is what, like 2.5? Because you start thinking about your kid at 2.5. You're like, oh right, yeah, because my kid was doing this at this age. And like, it's just like,
yes, it's
the go-to conversation you have with other parents, because you run, like, people are parents, and you talk to other people about being parents. So yeah.
You bringing up that Malario left Tristane at like 2 years old is crazy. Like just up and left her 2-year-old son
because the other son was taken from her.
That makes no sense.
Like, imagine I'm just thinking of other situations. Like, imagine you're at dinner, you've ordered 3 tacos, and somebody comes and they steal one of your tacos. Would you then be like, fuck, I've lost one of my tacos, and just throw the other two tacos away. Like,
She's got her
not to compare human beings with
daughter. Like she's got her
tacos, but
daughter.
like, does that make sense?
Like that's so weird. Like George very clearly just needed her out of the story, and you're right. Like, gosh, it's weird. That's weird.
Hey Preston, just want to say Davos chapter is my absolute favorite. Just went through a breakup. Any advice on how to distract myself? Thank you for the compliment
Oof.
on Davos. Like, keep in mind, like the fanfic stuff, because I put so much like, I mean, it's everybody, but like I put a lot of like creative stuff, like energy into the fanfic. It means a lot. Like the but just went through a breakup. Any advice on how to distract myself? So I know it's cliche to say that you got to get back on the horse again, and that there's plenty of fish in the sea. But the truth of it is, like, the reason it's trite is because it's true, and it's bad that you have to go out there when you're not emotionally ready and waste other people's time. Like, it's amazing. Like, you get broken up with, and then you have to go out there and waste your time with a bunch of other people who are like, what are you doing? You're still hung up on this other person, and you're like, like, you've got to, but you just have to do it. Like, you have to do it. So what, and it helps because what I find is, look, we all have a hole inside of us this big for a significant other, and any person will fill it up at least halfway. And that's better than the full, like, another person is distracting. Like, and so when the person's gone, you're feeling the pain of the full hole. But like, any person will fill at least half or maybe more. So, you will feel better by just hanging out with whoever. And you'll learn some interesting things. I mean, I understand like the idea of like dating people you're not even into and hanging out with people that you're not even into. You fucking learn a lot. You just learn a lot being with other people, being around other people, learning about their jobs, learning about their, like, what they've been through and things like that. There's so much you learn even from hanging out with people you're not that invested in or interested in. It's just so all I can say is get back out there. Get back
Yeah.
out there, and it's pretty easy to get back out there. It's just, you drop your standards just a little bit, and you can hang out with whoever you want.
This is really true. Oh my
This is the
gosh.
thing about
Yeah.
like, you keep your spirits high and your standards low, and you just clean up because say you go out there and say you're a 7 and you're normally dating 7s and you're or above, right? But then you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking say yes to every 6. Every 6 is like, whoa, it's a 7, And so you're surrounded by 6s, and you could easily entertain yourself with a bunch of 6s. And then when you're ready, you can go back to the 7s. So it's fine.
Yeah. I think that's excellent. I think that's excellent advice right there. Because yeah, I went through a breakup a little under a year ago. It was very short. It was a short relationship, and yeah, distract yourself, hang out with other people, sleep around. I don't know,
Good plan. That's the thing.
like go on dates. Like I don't know. This whole year I've like hung out with way more people than I have in the previous years at all. Like I've
Yeah.
dated so many people this year. And like that's the thing is some of them like that they're not long term. I've been with so many people that are in open relationships and stuff and had really nice stuff, but that like they're not your like forever person or whatever. They're not going to be
Yeah.
a long term thing. But you make friends, you make cool friends with benefits and then friends
Yeah.
in general and stuff.
And the other thing is, like, one of the things I kind of discovered as well is that, like, you discover that there's a lot of really great people out there. Some of them you won't be interested
Yeah.
in, but you're like, wow, this person's really, really great. And I'm really happy. Like they make you sometimes even feel like good about society because you're just like, wow, this person's like
Yeah.
really nice. I'm not interested in them, but man, they're gonna make somebody super happy, because they're so
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
awesome.
I've encountered so much kindness this whole
Mm,
year, like just meeting new people, and like I'm surprised by the amount of kindness you just by random strangers you barely know who think you're attractive or interesting. It's nice. It is nice.
yeah.
And you don't know if you have a few, like, I don't know, I've been doing so much traveling where I end up in Boston and
Mm,
New York and I don't know, Detroit or Milwaukee, like all these towns, all these cities, like I don't even know if I'll ever come back. But you stay there for a little bit, and I don't know, you stay there with somebody, and it's nice. It's nice, and you're like, wow. And now I know somebody. You're right. Like now I know one. There's one less stranger in the world. There's somebody I know that I could reach out to and be like, hey, next time in the city, would you want to hang out? Like,
yeah,
it is
yeah.
nice. So keep your head up, guy. You could.
I
There's.
know. It's fucking hard though. It's not like I don't understand
Yeah.
like having bad breakups where like you're just reeling for like a year over somebody and you're just
Mm.
like, oh fuck. But
I still this jacket is from my ex from was that 3 years ago now, and
mm,
I still think about him. I still am like maybe I made a mistake by breaking up with them, but you know,
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
you always have those random thoughts, but the thing is like all regrets. It's not like we don't feel like think about regrets in the road not traveled, but like you realize that you kind of like enter a place where you're like, well, I'm happiest now, and I wouldn't have been this wise had I not made those mistakes. And so you kind of logically go, oh, well, I needed to make those mistakes in order to like to be where I am now. It would, given the choice, would you do it again? It's like yes. That's usually the answer. Usually, I'm not saying everything. Like
Yeah.
obviously, you make some mistake, and I don't know, you accidentally kill your parents or something. You're gonna want to go back on that one. But like most of these things in life are you're like, well, I learned a lot from that. Once you kind of go, oh, I learned from that.
Carmine, all your comments are really funny here. Where they're like, disclaimer: Preston is NBA height. Don't listen. He doesn't he can't relate to his loner audience because he's got the height perk or whatever. It's not true. It's not true.
Uh,
Look, if you, like confidence, what I've learned is
mm.
confidence can. I know I say this as a conventionally attractive person, but confidence can get you so far in the
Oh
world.
my
So,
god.
and it's hard to develop confidence, but once you have it, like you can like you're like
Oh, it's
Saul
that Old
Goodman.
Spice
I don't
commercial.
know.
Do you remember the Old Spice commercial with the guy from Evil Dead? And it's like if you have it, you don't need it. If you don't, if you, it's like the whole thing is about experience, and it's like if you don't have any, you don't even know how to get any more. Like if you if you need it, you don't have it. If you have it, you don't need it. Like um, yeah, the confidence is everything, and the thing is also like the man, like I don't know if the world has how much the world has changed or whatever, but like when I walk around now, um, and maybe I'm old man yelling at the clouds, but it seems like today people are more insecure than they were when I was growing up, and maybe I'm wrong about
Mm,
that, but now I see people just doing so many things that I see as being like so obvious, like an obvious way to try to hide their insecurity, whether it be like you know um, going to the gym and getting huge muscles or getting tattoos all over their face or whatever. It doesn't matter, but it's like these things that are you're like trying to hide how insecure you are with like some sort of statement of like, no, actually I'm manly and confident, and you're like, oh
yeah,
really?
yeah.
If you were manly and confident, you probably wouldn't need to be like doing that to prove to us that you're manly and confident. Um, and that's the thing is everybody so wants the confidence. Everybody so wants to like show the experience and everything. But that's the only way you get real confidence is to go out and live life. Um, And I don't know. It's um, like when I think about what a catch my wife is, like I don't think I would have been able to impress her, and if I did not have the life I'd lived before that, like getting up to that, and like
Hmm.
you know, um, like those experiences make who you are, and then that becomes the package, you know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So when you know when if you have something interesting to talk about with somebody, like that's
Most of the time, like I don't know, this is a crazy thing I learned. Most of the time, when if you come up to somebody at a bar and talk to them for a bit, and then and then ask like, "Do you want to make out?" They'll say yes. Like that's what the thing is. Like wow, all right, it's that
well,
easy.
if you look like Trey the Explainer.
I guess I don't fully understand. But I used to be so, I didn't used to be confident in my appearance. I used to be so freaking scared. And sometimes appearance you would take time to put work into. Like that's the
Mm.
thing is I don't think I was super attractive until I found out my style and everything. So it takes time.
That's
But
the other
yeah.
thing is like being like in your place. Like I'm trying to think of like like when I look at like massive insecurity, you know. Oh, Carmine's here.
Oh,
Hello,
Carmine. That's
hello.
Carmine saying, "Uh-oh."
Do not, to the audience, do not listen to either of these motherfuckers. I'll tell you why.
What?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Why?
I'll tell you why. But
Why?
Preston and Trey are both charismatic guys. They're intelligent men. They're good looking. They're tall. Not every guy is going to have that. Take it from someone who is not tall, not good looking, and is decently charismatic. You
Yeah, you're
gotta
charismatic,
not.
Carmine.
Oh, thanks, motherfucker. You gotta not be boring. Women are allergic
Yes.
to boring.
Well, that's the
This
other
is
thing why
something I
like
have learned.
experience is like important, you know.
Yeah.
So,
You know what you learn
Preston,
you
I hope
learn
you
not what
don't.
not to say, you learn not to like bring up awkward shit in a conversation or like
Trey understands what I'm
self-deprecate.
talking about when I say Preston
But
has
but
way
what
too
I'm
many
saying there's also
marks.
this. There's also like
The fuck is that? Is that
you can
egg
I'm
sex?
saying you can see all the fucking insecurity,
Oh, on him, yeah.
like just the compensation and insecurity, and he, you know, for somebody that actually has like experience and is comfortable with who they are, like they're like, you know, women can see that. You know, they can see all
100%.
that. Yeah.
100%. Well, and don't take offense to what I said, but when you go on a dating app, Preston, women usually have like the 666 check. Trey knows what I'm talking about. You got to be over 6 foot, make over six
Yeah.
figure salary, and like have a 6 inch cock or plus. I'm pretty sure you hit all of those marks. Everybody in this, like, I'm pretty sure you do. As someone who doesn't, take it from me, confidence,
Women don't really care about penis size, man. They do not.
whatever.
They do not.
Just as, but
They do
regardless,
not.
you still got a good job. You're still a fairly tall
No,
guy,
no.
charismatic,
But all
intelligent,
that
and you know
gets
so on and
into
so forth.
like you know, a good job has to do with like, are you driven? Like
Yeah.
people definitely want to. They want somebody. They don't want somebody that's lazy. They want somebody that's driven, that has a
Oh
mission.
yeah.
Like, this is what I'm
hmm
doing, and
Yeah.
you know, there's that kind of correlation.
I
But
actually,
yeah,
Trey, I had a conversation with someone about something you told me when you went to Comic Con about these guys who go there and they're fucking crazy. And the other again, as someone who is not like tall or good looking, the one thing I've learned to pick up women is don't be boring, have confidence, smell good. Smelling good is
Smell
so
good.
fucking important.
They
no. I mean, what I learned
I don't think they ask for much.
I don't think they ask for much. I think the bar is incredibly low these days.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
That all you
Smell
have to do,
decent and
Don't
don't
be
kill
an
them. That's it. That's
don't
it.
don't be an
don't
incel,
don't be
like
an incel, don't be conservative, don't be a far right conservative, like don't like talk about how
don't be
immigrants need to die, like like just be caring. Um like I tell people all the
like
time,
you got to
like
be interested.
yeah, Like
be interested in what they're doing, you know?
the questions thing, man. If you make it sick, you got to make it 60-40. You are asking questions 60% of the time. You are
Yeah.
telling stories that relate to their life 40% of the time.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
And
it's like,
please,
oh, really?
guys,
So, like,
don't
you
ever
know,
bring up that Mance Rayder is Rhaegar Targaryen. Do not do that on the first date. Maybe the third date, but
that's
do
not
not.
gonna. No.
I'm sorry.
Ice and Fire and fucking and video games and Pluribus. I mean, maybe if they're watching Pluribus, but
No. When I was at Comic-Con, I spent most of Comic-Con with my biggest crush. My biggest crush, we ran into each other at Comic-Con. And because George R. Martin was there, they asked me, like, why are you here for George R. Martin? And I started talking about, like, well, like, you know, I'm on a Game of Thrones podcast, sometimes as a guest, and I find it really interesting. I find George's politics interesting. I know basically that everything is to know. And I was like, I saw it. I saw the eyes glaze and over. I was like, okay, we're changing the conversation. We're talking about something else here. Like, you gotta, you're totally right, Preston, that you gotta ask
got to ask
questions.
so
Like,
many
it's so,
questions.
like, that's something I learned in life
But it's not just
in
like
general.
ask and move
Is
on.
to
It's
ask
got to be like
questions and let
ask.
people
You
talk.
you have to give the feedback that you understand and you relate. You ask another question,
Yes.
you understand, and you relate. You connect on the empathy level and stuff like that. And sometimes it won't work. I mean, fuck. You know how many people I fucking dated before my wife? Jesus, like, it didn't work for a long fucking
gosh.
time. Do you
Yeah.
have any theories on the milk cartons in Pluribus? It's people, isn't it? That's
Oh.
the common thing. Is everybody's like it's Soylent Green,
Soylent Green.
which is too
Oh.
bad. I think that'd be disappointing if it's Soylent Green.
I'm going to go on a limb and say it's not people, but I think it might be like people's droppings or urine or something like something. It's gonna be something disgusting. It has to be. It can't be. It can't be like because we're expecting it to be people, and she's expecting it to
Yeah,
be something heinous, but it's probably gonna be something incredibly disgusting. It has to be.
it's got to be, but it can't be bugs, right? It can't be. So, by the way, one of my friends, he hates fucking Snowpiercer as a movie. He thinks it's the worst movie ever. And one of the big reasons he hates fucking Snowpiercer is near the beginning of the movie, Chris Evans is moving up the train, and they eat on the train. They all eat these nutrition bars, and then he finds out that the nutrition bars are all made of like chopped up bugs. And then he's like sick to his stomach.
And he vomits. He's like, oh,
I can't believe we've been
and they
eating
try
bugs. And then later on, you find out that he's actually a cannibal and he's eating children. He's eating babies. And you're like, first, like, no, like if you've already gone to cannibalism, there's no way you find bugs disgusting. Like you're well past that. Like,
and like also like, why would he have the same disgust towards bugs that we would have? And because he was born and raised on the train, right? He's not from like that older generation,
right?
Yeah, so he's never experienced a world where bugs are a pest, probably. Like, so why does he experience the same revulsion that we do?
You're right. What would the bugs be eating anyway? There's nothing.
Good question. This is a good question.
You see a bug, it doesn't make a lot of
sense. Trey, have you gotten far into Pluribus?
I sent you a message. I watched all 3 of like the first 3 episodes, and it was bringing me down. Like it was putting me in a depressed mood.
What is because Carol's an asshole?
I think that's it. I love what's her name? Race Seahorn. But yeah, I think they made her too unlikable for my taste. I don't know. And maybe I could give her another episode, but she's just so mean and so miserable and so unlikable. And I get it. The love of her life is killed, and she's in this extremely insane situation. But it's lasted several episodes, and she's having this very small growth for me, but it's taking too long. I don't know. And it was just putting me in a bad mood. Maybe it was just the mood that I was in at the time. But I was like, I can't watch too much more of this because it's just I don't know. I'm not enjoying it. Is what I kind of felt. I wasn't enjoying watching it. Yeah. Just same. Maybe I should give it a second chance. Maybe I was consuming it in the wrong way. I don't know.
Well, we'll see what happens this week. I mean, she's still a jerk. But I think she
She's just like
represents.
she's way too much of a jerk. Like I
But she
know
kind of represents
I
like
know that she.
what we feel. Like we all feel like we're that jerk. Um,
By the
yeah,
way, Preston, just so you know, her book is on Apple Books.
yeah. I heard you could read it. Yeah,
Blood Song of Waikaro by Carol
yeah.
Strutka.
Oh.
It's on Apple Books. It's only 11 pages.
Well, it's just a joke. They just released it for the publicity, right?
Honestly, they should have released an actual full-fledged book and maybe had plots from the show in there somewhere.
It's a lot of work. But what else could it be? I mean, because I'm thinking logically speaking, because you had said, Carmine, one of the things that doesn't make sense is they can't grow crops anymore if they've decided they don't want to kill bugs. And so
Right.
all of a sudden their food yields are going to be decreasing. So how are they going to survive? Well, there needs to be some sort of like efficiency situation where they need to reconsume or something, consume something else if crops can't produce everything.
I told you, dead bodies don't matter to them because the person that this was, they're already in the hive mind. Their memories are there in the sense they live in there. Like, what was you said it was heaven, kind of?
Yeah.
So
It's a song for Leah. It really is like I was watching. I was like, "This is a song for Leah."
Yeah,
Leah
song
type
for
stuff
Leah.
here. It's song for Leah meets Childhood End, like Ray
that's what I said in the podcast we
Childhood
did.
End. It has like you can't kill animals kind of thing. You got to stop animal cruelty. Like it's a very weird, oddly specific thing in that book. Yeah, and yeah, they weaken humanity, right? Like to evolve them. That's Childhood's End. Like as they make humans telepaths and kind of enslave the human race, but it makes us like a whole or consume our own planet or something like that. I read Childhood's End like a long time ago. But yeah, I'm seeing both those influence. Childhood's End, the sci-fi adaptation has Charles Dance as the Arthur C. Clarke, not Ray Bradbury. Sorry. Yeah. The because like I don't know, Preston, have you ever read Childhood's End?
No.
Ever seen it? Oh, should I spoil? There's a really cool reveal. The cool reveal is that like it's like the arrival, like the aliens are parked out over Earth for a long time, and they're communicating through like a one-way mirror or whatever, where like the Earth representative comes up and he talks to the alien, but in like their humanity's like, why aren't you showing us your face? Like and he's like, my form would disturb you, like and it gets to the point where like humanity's trying to bomb and like and to see what's on the other side of the window, and the alien's like, you know what, I'm just going to show you. And the alien takes off the window, and everybody's assuming like, oh, it's going to be something with tentacles or I don't know, it like bug parts or something, and he just looks like the devil. Like they literally just look like carbon copies of Satan, like with the horns and the wings,
red skin, giant horns,
red skin, and they're like, oh, I guess and like the explanation is that like humans, the trauma of encountering him or what happens later projects the image of Satan back in time to like ancient humans, where they see the devil conjured in their brain and they draw it. Like it's like a causality thing. It's like time traveling Bran almost. Childhood's End is a weird book. It's good, but it's
right, because I was expecting that they're gonna like
depressing end.
show themselves, and it would be like they'd either be like human looking or they'd be like really beautiful or something.
Right?
So,
yeah,
like, it's
you have to have
of
one or the other.
But then it's like, oh, they look like the devil.
They look like the devil. Yeah. Which is why they put off showing, because it would freak humanity out. Like I think they wait till the second generation of humans is raised or something like that. Yeah, and it does have a depressing ending. And like I don't know if it's very thematically good. Like it's a good book sci-fi book to read as a cool weird story, but I don't know if it has much in themes going on. I don't know what he was trying to say thematically with it. Yeah. So, anyways,
Um, I'm blessed if I know what that widow's even up to. Also, oh, the widow of the waterfront. Also, the whole I must kill Qhorin thing seemed it seemed out of God knows where. Yeah, it's true. Like you're gonna gain their trust if you fucking kill Qhorin. Would that work? Like, say you were a I don't know, like you had a gang, and you catch two rival gang members, and then one of those gang members decides to like kill the other gang member. Would that make you? Would that endear you to them? And would you want to like have them part of your gang? Now, keep in mind, you've got plenty of people in your gang. You're not like hurting for numbers, you know. Like they don't really need Jon. Like, what is Jon? I mean, the idea that Jon's going to know some like vital information about the Watch for their attack, but don't they all believe that like Mance has a horn that can
I always
bring it
thought there
down?
needed to be more Night's Watch deserters in the Mance's army. There needed to be
You're
10.
right, because there's some with
You
OSHA.
know?
You know, there's some with OSHA. There should be like Night's Watch deserters all over
Yeah.
the fucking place, right? Because
Yeah.
the wall is filled with criminals, and
South, you can't go south. You'll get
you
killed.
can't go
The north, you
south.
could maybe hide for a while.
You're right. The I don't know. I think George started with that idea, and then it just went away.
Like maybe he's like, oh, in order to be north of the wall, you have to be a ranger, and they have like the more strict vetting procedure. Like they make sure that you really, but that doesn't really work because people at Eastwatch kind of mess around. It sounds like people at Eastwatch just are able to go on the other side of the wall really easily. So
right. I mean, it's like the people you trust the most would be the Wandering Rangers, right? And then who I don't, you know, like I don't know how you get that cushy job, but they must be trusted the most. And then you'd want to trust the Rangers the next, and then oh man, it's just it does, you know, it doesn't really, the whole system doesn't kind of work out. You kind of need a lot. You need many more volunteers than it has, but it seems like the number of volunteers is very low, and that the number of criminals is very high.
how okay, is it explained how the Wandering Crows like are not executed? Like, did they need a special badge or something like that to prove that they're actually a Wandering Crow and not just some guy fucking making things up?
That'd
Like,
be
is that ever
hilarious if
explained?
like Ned executes the guy. And they're like, no, he was a wandering crow, you idiot. Oh, I was going to get more recruits. Oh,
Because
oh.
Darian was going to be a Wandering Crow.
That's right.
Darian was going to be a Wandering Crow. That's a little trust is required for it. I know this is under Jon, but man,
Well, I think he
have more.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
there's no mention of them having like a special badge or something or like a seal. Like maybe you could just say you're a Wandering Crow. It's funny.
Because wait, where was Darian supposed to? Where were they? I mean, Darian was gonna eventually gonna make it to Old Town. The idea, and
That's how
then
little trust you need to be a Wandering Crow is Darian. That's the threshold.
I'm
There
just
must
saying
be like
Darian like deserting in Bravos was probably like. I mean, granted they were stuck there because of money situations and ship situations, but like getting on the ship again
Yoren.
to go into Old Town wasn't really that bad. He's a singer at Eastwatch
No.
first. And then, yeah, he's named as a replacement for Yoren.
He doesn't even know if Yoren's dead. For all he knows, Yoren is just in between locations or something. I guess it's been years, right? It's been like, how long has it been since Clash? Between
I
Clash
mean, the other
and
Wandering Crows are
Feast.
fucking gone too. Where are the other fucking Wandering Crows? They're never mentioned. Jon doesn't know they exist. Does Jon even know who Yoren is? I guess it was Yoren.
Yoren was at the wall when Tyrion was at the wall. because he comes back with Bjorn.
I mean, in the show, I'm trying to remember if he was. Is that true that he was?
Yeah, because I think he was at the end of the crossroads. That's how he got the information to Ned about Cat. It was Yoren.
Fair enough. Yeah. You're right. He's the one accompanying Tyrion back.
He would have seen him in the dining hall or something like that.
They're on the road for months and or days, depending on the jetpack. That's the jetpack time for Tyrion. Somebody put in a theory that perhaps there was a time dilation situation. That the reason that, like, for example, the Great Ranging takes place over 9 months when it should really be taking place over the course of like 4 weeks, and like people getting down like the King's Road so fast has to do with like time dilations and like there's time disruptions.
The comet has is a warp or something like that. Yoren's been gone for years, I guess. Yeah.
So the other Wandering Crows.
Clash.
They should have mentioned
how much
of the other Wandering Crows. But can we do a full Twin Peaks watch, seasons 2, 3, 1, 2, Fire Walk with Me in the Return? I know you already I know you already act like you have a history with it. Oh, that's a lot of content to go through. I mean, come on. Get through Twin Peaks. Jesus.
Twin Peaks, isn't that the show where someone turns into a fucking doorknob? You know what I'm talking about, Preston?
Really? Might.
Yeah. You watch Twin Peaks. You know what I'm talking about.
I watched the original show and then the Fire Walk with Me, but I haven't seen the sequel series.
Whatever, dude.
If somebody turns into a crazy ass show, I've forgotten that part.
I know it's a crazy ass show. I mean, that's Jesus Christ. I thought we're on Berserk with the boys. We did a George show. What was that George show?
Yeah. Let's stack them.
What's that fucking George show we did?
Night
What was
Flyers.
the one? Knife? No, not no. What's the other one we did? That
Dark Winds. Did you do Dark Winds?
No, I never watched Dark Winds.
Dark Winds was okay. I watched the first season of Dark Winds, but it's it's not a lot to write home about. Yeah. Like the actors are good, but the story's kind of like, I mean,
it's all the actors from from Reservation Dogs, which I would recommend watching Reservation Dogs, and that's breezy because it's 30-minute comedy. But I don't know. At least first season of Reservation Dogs you should watch.
President, I'm surprised you're not wanting to get on Dark Winds because I know you really like the Native American stuff. That's like your forte.
I mean, not always. Echo was still a pretty horrible show.
The like Native American aspect of it. Let's think. They do talk about like the orphanages or whatever, or the forced sterilization bit. That's a bit that's brought up.
So
they don't talk about like Navajo.
What's fun is I've heard American Indians kind of trash Dark Winds because the main actor is not he's an Oklahoma American Indian and he doesn't actually speak Navajo, and they have all these scenes where he has to supposedly speak Navajo and he doesn't know any Navajo, and they're like, why didn't you fucking hire a Navajo actor? And they're like, because this guy is like a Kechita. Everybody fucking loves a Kechita. So
a Kechita Trey from Westworld. By the way,
he's Lakota. He's Hunk Papa Lakota. Yeah. He's totally different culture. Totally different. He's not even
just
the
so
same language group.
George appears in the first episode of season 3 of Dark Winds. I told you about this, right, Preston?
I've seen the scene. Yeah, I've seen the scene.
Yeah, you know about this, right, Trey? How he appears and he's playing chess with Robert Redford or something. Mm-hmm. Robert Redford's like, George, the whole world is waiting. Make a move. George initially didn't want to do that scene because, for obvious reasons.
And now it's been so many years since that scene was even recorded. Oh goodness!
After
you're not missing
boys, have you read Attack on Titan? I've watched a bunch of Attack on Titan. And
Really?
honestly, like I wasn't really that into it. I know some people get into it really later when the
Huh.
time travel fucking shit happens and stuff, and people tell me that it gets complicated and relates to Ice and Fire. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of slow, and I don't know. Carmine, what do you think of Attack on Titan? I know you've watched it all.
I've seen it all. I'll say this. I understand the problem when people recommend you stuff is that they don't know you well enough to recommend something that you would like. They recommend you something they would like. Like for example, I
Yeah.
like One Piece. I would never recommend you One Piece. Um,
Huh.
that being said, I think Attack on Titan season 3 part 2 is one of the best pieces of anime ever. It's the Trey, have you
Really?
seen it?
I've seen, I know what happens. Like Attack on Titan, the ending kind of nullified it for me. It's kind of like Game of Thrones
Mm,
season 8 kind of thing for
mm.
for what it was like for some people, where it's like, wow, that was a stinker, and that all
So
that time I
so
invested, because it does go on for a while.
it does. It's so Preston. The ending to Attack on Titan was somewhat poorly received. The guy went back and did like a super special ending. He added more stuff to it to
And
explain it.
I hate it even more. The second ending, I hate it even more than the first ending.
Really?
Like yeah, yeah. The stupid like, oh, it's gonna happen again. Oh, they're in a cycle. Fuck
Ooh.
you. Like I thought that was stupid. I
They're in
hate
a
these
cycle
like,
of
oh,
violence.
nothing
It always
mattered.
comes back
Nothing mattered.
around.
Cycle of violence. How profound. How profound. Like war never changes. Fuck you.
By the way, to the fucking people out there who constantly recommend Attack on Titan to Preston, I'm a little offended you fucking guys aren't recommending Hunter x Hunter of all things. Preston's George R. R. Martin editor guy, Will, does a whole Hunter x Hunter YouTube channel. And like I'm surprised no one's recommend because I think Hunter x Hunter is better than Attack on Titan. The only bad episodes Hunter x Hunter has is the first two. But if you get through the first two, the rest is like cake. I'm talking
Hunter x
about the
Hunter's fun.
2011.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's great.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's real fun.
Would
Carmine,
he
you're
like
so
it?
right about when people recommend you stuff. You're right that it's like them recommending to you, like, or like what they like. You're like, it's an excuse for them you to learn what they like. Because yeah, I used to recommend. I wear my Blood Meridian shirt. I used to recommend people Blood Meridian. Stopped. I stopped. I realized that like Blood Meridian's very acquired taste, and like I totally
Oh
understand why
yeah.
people don't like it, because people are like nothing's happening. They're just wandering around, and I'm just like, well, like the prose and the flow and the
It's,
the appreciation for real history and the attention to detail, and the people just like, this is boring. I hate this, and it's like, yeah, I'll
so
stop
what
recommending this to
I have
people.
found there are people that like have you met the people that like read a book in like 3 days and then they move on to the next book and they're constantly looking for book recommendations, and I'm like, you
Oh yeah,
must not be reading that book very closely if you're finishing a book in 3 days. But the thing is, Blood Meridian is like, oh shit, like every line is like, just like clever, and he spent so much time crafting it.
the
Like,
words and the
right,
dialogue. Yeah.
it's more an exercise in poetry than it is an exercise in plot.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, Cormac McCarthy is just he is like he does not get enough credit for being so good at what he does because you have Blood Meridian, No Country for Old Men, and then The
Oh yeah,
Road,
yeah,
which was Jesus. My boy Bear loves him, so I'm surprised Blood
yeah.
Meridian hasn't been turned into a film yet. Has it? I don't think it
That's
has.
what everybody says. They've been trying for like 20, 30 years, and it's hard to adapt because there's not much story, There's not much story, and
Hmm.
most of the stuff is told internally and through the describing the landscape and everything. Like it's very, I think it'd be very, and it's also like hard to depict, especially today, where like the whole idea of Blood Meridian is that all sides are evil, like there's evil on all sides. There's Mexicans, there's Americans, there's Comanche and Apaches being violent and mutilating people and stuff. So like you're gonna please nobody with that movie, like that. Like people like the movie, people like the Avatar, the Dances with Wolves, where it's very simple, black and
Mm.
white guys destroying Native Americans, and how bad that is and everything. People don't like the nuance, kind of like, well, like Comanches were pretty brutal, like during the 1840s and stuff too. Like people don't like that. It's going to be hard to market that to an audience today because it makes
Hmm.
people uncomfortable. I think.
By the
I
way,
don't know.
Preston,
This might seem fun.
before you move on to the just mentioning Will's channel, Extra Otter, who does the Hunter x Hunter stuff. Me mentioning that he's your editor, people, because you can't see it here, but I'm caught up ahead in the stream chat. People are like, "Whoa, I've actually watched his channel. I love his channel. I didn't know he was related or connected to Preston." Like, yeah, Will, who does his Hunter x Hunter stuff, his channel is Extra Otter. He cites Preston as an inspiration for how he tackles the material. Like, again, I would recommend Hunter x Hunter to Preston, or even Trey. Have you seen Freerun Beyond Journey's End? It's a beautiful anime.
No, I haven't. Oh.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I normally don't like that shit, but fuck, it's beautiful. Fucking love that shit.
Beyond Journey's End.
Sorry,
What
I'm
is
sorry,
this?
Preston.
Oh. See, Carmine, I never would have guessed that this is a good anime. This looks like this looks like this looks like the Crunchyroll dungeon, like I don't know.
Wait, you're talking about
the
Freerun
stuff.
Beyond Journey's End?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I would be like, this is
Oh,
the
dude,
stuff the animes they pump out, because Japan just like pumps out like thousands of just forgettable anime where it's like, whoa, it's a guy, he's in a medieval fantasy world and he hangs out with a whole bunch of chicks. And who will he choose? And there's an evil
I
dark
guarantee
lord.
you. Check out Freerun. It might put you in a somber, sad mood, but it's so beautiful. It's so good. It was one of my favorite shows of 2024. Mwah, it's beautiful. What I recommend
when I was a young man, I went to Japan for a summer to teach English, and I ran into, like, keep in mind the year is, we're going back in time. Okay, it's the summer of 2001. Okay, so I am in Japan. 9/11 hasn't happened. It was,
It's an innocent time.
Innocent time. But I remember running into some dudes some American dudes who had moved to Japan, and I was like, "Oh, what brings you to Japan?" And they're like, "I know this sounds embarrassing, but we moved to Japan because we wanted to find out. We wanted to like learn more about Japanese culture because we're really into like manga." And keep in mind, this was in 2001. Okay, manga was not mainstream. Okay, so these guys were like pioneers. Okay, pioneers here. Okay. I mean, and at the time I'd seen Akira and stuff like this, but like my anime and manga knowledge was not much. But, and I was like, oh, so like, and we're talking about manga, and the one guy says the wisest thing, and he's just like, the thing about manga, and it's like any other art form in that 95% of it is pure shit. he's like, say you're into literature. 95% of it is pure shit. You know that. You're into TV. 95% of it's shit. You're into movies. 95% of it's shit. He's like, manga, anime, no different. There is so much bad manga and so much bad anime out there that you have to like talk to people to get recommended the good stuff. Because if you just delve in, it's just fucking shit. Like, it's just, and I just remember that conversation forever. Because now we're flooded with even more shit anime and shit manga.
You don't know how bad it is. Like every other year, Trey's right. It's always like, I got reincarnated into another world as a toaster or some stupid shit like that. And I'm not kidding. That is probably an anime that exists. You know, that's what you're talking about, right, Trey? Like how these random isekai.
Yes. Me and my friends, sometimes when we kill time, we take, there's a channel that does like trivia. They post like little trivia videos that are like 10 minutes long or whatever. And they have sometimes we'll click on the anime trivia and we'll just be like, guess the name of this anime, and we're just like Frozen Force, Princess Dragon 3, and like we'll get close just with the random ass names, and just like they turn out a lot of it. There's a lot of just shit anime. It's like soap opera. It's like being like NBC shows coming up, and it's like almost all of them, if not all of them, are gonna be shit. And apparently that's what the populace wants, like the
funny thing as well, at the time, even in Japan, anime and manga was not mainstream. And so like
Mm.
they were like, you got to remember that like the average Japanese person, their average Japanese person is like, you're talking about comic books, right? You're talking about like that's for kids, like they're the same. Now again, like in Japan, anime and manga has also blown up, and now it's more mainstream, just like it's more mainstream here. But like at the time, it was for losers in Japan, so it was like the losers in America found it, and they moved to Japan. And the Japanese people are like, yeah, that's for losers. And there's this incredible scene in Revenge of the Nerds where so if you've ever seen Revenge of the Nerds, like their nerd fraternity has a different type of nerd. So there's like the slobby nerd Booger, and there's like Poindexter nerd, who's Poindexter is his name. Then there's the gay guy, and then there's all different types of nerds. And so they have this one like Japanese guy who's a nerd. And you kind of think, oh, he's just a nerd because he's Japanese. And so there's a point where they're like going around like trying to get donations for their frat, and he like knocks on this door, and a Japanese guy answers. And he's like, oh, oh, konnichiwa, da 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 da. And the Japanese guy is like, no, 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 nerd, and slams the door. Because you're like, oh, he's not just a nerd because he's Japanese. He's a nerd in Japan. like
That's a genius joke. I love that. That's awesome.
oh, nerd. Like, oh man. Is there a sigil logo for Karth? Please help. No. Sometimes people use a peacock. And I think that's only because in the show they threw around a bunch of peacocks as like a symbol of the city. But there is no symbol for Karth. Now, keep in mind, in the real world, this whole like flag symbol of a civilization thing it's like that's like a fucking 20th century concept. Okay, like people were not fucking obsessed with flags prior to the 20th century. Like everyone's identity wasn't a flag. Sometimes they had flags. Sometimes they had battlefield banners. But like this obsession today that we have with flags and maps and stuff like that, with like, it's really difficult. It's just not people didn't have the same sort of association, which is weird because today now people like tattoo flags on themselves and shit like that. But it just was not.
I'm thinking of like the weird assumption that's happened where like everybody assumes Romans wore red, like red was the symbol of ancient Rome. And it's just like, no, like we have like it's not. We have like their armor, and it was painted blue sometimes, and sometimes they were blue tunics and everything. Like I don't even know where the idea Romans wore red came from. Like I just know that it's not true.
Yeah. So like, and people kind of also like even Ice and Fire with the whole like heraldry. Like in medieval times, people were not that obsessed with heraldry. Like, yeah, if you were a knight and you wanted something nice for your, and you wanted to put something on your helmet for a tourney, but how often are you doing that shit? You're not living this life. Like, if your house symbol is a fucking stout, that you have this weasel thing everywhere in your fucking house and everywhere and on your flags, and you're shitting it, you're eating it, it's just also like when you look at those heraldry things, everybody had the same fucking symbols. Everybody was a fucking lion. It was stupid. Like, how are you supposed to? No one was picking any other animal. It's like, I'm the lion. Okay. Everybody's the fucking lion.
Wasn't the idea that like Romans wore red? Wasn't that like their upper officer? You guys are more the Roman history buffs than I am, but wasn't it because like their upper officers always wore red? And wasn't it something to do with like the Roman god of war or something? Was
yeah, like Mars. Mars is associated with red, so like sometimes, like I know Julius Caesar had like red painted on his face when he had his triumph, and there's some stuff about like in a military triumph or whatever, you'd wear red scarlet toga or something. But this idea that like, I don't know, I've seen so many things where like the map is colored red and the soldiers are all wearing red and they have red banners with the SPQR and the golden eagle and stuff. That's all like, I think that's all invented because there's even depictions of Romans and they're not wearing red as like foot soldiers or anything. They're blue or gray. Yeah.
But also
Homie,
this
this is a
idea that
video
like
you could make.
my favorite color my favorite color is green. How often do I wear green?
Ugh.
But it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't wear your favorite color every fucking day, you know, and not all of your clothes are that fucking color. So there's this weird thing in Ice and Fire where it's like, oh, you're a Stark. I guess you're going to be wearing fucking gray and white every day for the rest of your fucking life. Like, what if you wake up one day and you want to wear something fucking yellow, or you want to wear something fucking red? Like, people want to wear different colors. They don't just wear the same goddamn color every day. Romans wore red. Yeah, what if it's Wednesday and they want to fucking wear pink? What if they want to wear green? What if they want to wear blue? Like, people want to wear different colors.
We specifically know that like Roman art, like especially Greek, and I think Roman armor, you would have it painted and colored to provide whatever you wanted. There was no like uniform or anything. It's like as long as you show up and you stay in line and everything, you can wear whatever you want.
I mean, imagine if your house food was pizza and then you just have to eat pizza every fucking meal. You know, like same thing with these like fashion decisions. Like, you got to, anyway, people were not obsessed with flags. Some people wonder why, for example, so many American states have a seal on their state flag. And the reason is because people just didn't have, like, people actually had more association with seals at the time that they were just like, fine, just put our seal on the fucking flag, because the seal was like more important to them. They, you know. And so we ended up with a whole bunch of states with their seals on our flag, on the flags, just because during that period of time, seals were considered really cool and everybody loved their seals. And now there's this big like changing all the state flags bullshit to get rid of the seal flags, which is too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing for Karth except for this show influenced Peacock.
Because I've seen this for Slaver's Bay stuff where they're like, oh yes, Yunkai is the harpy with a chain and the other one's a harpy with... It's like, who cares? Like, yeah.
How likely Cersei becomes the queen in the books? I mean, I think George had said at one point that there would be several different people to sit the Iron Throne. But keep in mind, like, his story is not even gotten to the second phase of like what was in his head. Originally he had wanted Jaime to sit the Iron Throne after all of his children were killed. And that's even harder to fathom, considering that like Jaime is the brother of the queen, you know, rather than the queen, you know, things like that. So, could Cersei sit the Iron Throne? Yeah, conceivably that was in George's head that was the case after the children died, because the Baratheons have been disinherited and there's no one else, and it's all about who has the power and who has the army and all of that. But so does George have the time to do that? No, not anymore. I do fully think that was George's plan to have Cersei sit the Iron Throne for a little bit, or from Casterly Rock be queen or whatever. But there's just not enough time for that shit anymore. I can't see, you know, after Aegon and Daenerys, like I mean, maybe, I guess, if he's trying to have that final act.
She's got to marry Euron. She's got to marry Euron and
be the queen. Maybe queen through Euron. I don't know. Maybe she's the queen. and
I don't,
ruling from
I don't know how
Casterly Rock.
Euron fits into all this. Because you're right, we got to have like the Aegon invasion. I guess Euron's gonna ally himself with. See, that's
For
weird. I
Cersei.
don't see Euron being like a subordinate to somebody else. I think that's weird
A king and
that he
queen
declares
marrying each
himself king
other
and
in
then
an
he's like, you know what?
alliance, I suppose. You know, like
Okay. So
um
it's gonna be like a three-way fight between Dany, Aegon, and Cersei
if I
Euron.
were to think about like what's gonna happen next, Aegon has to Cersei. I would think has to flee to Casterly Rock because Aegon has to take the throne and have most of the reach and everything. Dany
Hmm.
comes in, allies herself with Sweet Robin because we had that whole thing about like Sweet Robin being flown around by Visenya in Fire and Blood.
Yeah,
So she gets the
yeah.
veil. Aegon gets Dorne and the Reach, and they fight each other. And while they're fighting, Cersei's just chilling, declaring herself king of in the West, queen in the West, and she aligns herself
Okay.
with Euron at this point. And I guess it's some sort of three-way fight, or Aegon is destroyed, maybe sandwiched, and then the others' invasion happens, and then you have to deal with Cersei in the end. I guess. I think it was
Oh
probably
God.
probably George's plan, but there's just not time.
Yeah.
You pronounce Qhorin corn, corn, corn. The whole time, the Raven has been actually saying Qhorin. He hasn't been saying corn. Qhorin, Qhorin,
He's been warged. He warged into Mormont's Raven.
Qhorin half hand.
Forget that. Forget that. What's his name?
I
Vengeance
thought he
in the
worked
Raven thing.
into. I thought Benjamin worked into Mormont's cock. Like, what theory did you read? I read, I think, a
Mm.
completely different theory.
Corn.
Uh,
He's Arthur Dane. What's the thing? Is he Arthur Dane or is he Rhaegar? Who's Rhaegar?
Rhaegar is Mance
Rhaegar's man?
Raider. Arthur Dane is Corin Halfhand, and I think Gerald Hightower is.
I've heard it different ways. So I've heard it that Mance. I've heard it first that Mance was Rhaegar because of all the parallels of like playing the
With the
lyre
harp
and
and
the
everything.
playing the harp and all that shit. And his hair being weird because his hair is gray, but his beard is not gray and stuff like that. I don't know, but that there's something weird going on. His ability to glamour and all sorts of stuff. But then I've also heard because he's such a fucking good fighter that he has to be fucking Arthur Dane. And so then
Okay.
Corin Halfhand becomes like some other dude. Like Corin Halfhand is either Arthur Dane or Gerald Hightower or Oswald Went or something. I forget who the third one is. Corin, Mance, and Tormund? Tormund somebody?
Yes, no, it was Torment. No, it was Torment because the theory
Tormund
was
was.
the theory was is that no fuck no it fuck was it no the theory was is
Tormund's
that
Gerald Hightower.
one of the three was John. Melisandre glamored one of the three to no fuck. I'm getting confused.
What?
Oh, this is so stupid. Never mind. Sorry.
I love the idea that Tormund is like a paid actor. Like he really invested in like the character role. He's like, I got this great backstory for
I talk about my dick constantly. What would be funny is if like what would be funny is like they start seeding it and they're just like Gerald Hightower would not shut the fuck up about his dick. And he's like, I've got the Hightower right here. And like, oh my god, will Gerald Hightower not shut up about his dick? My member is as large as the Tie Tower. Then it turns out, yes, it's because Gerald Hightower is Tormund. He just switched it around.
I saw a really stupid video. I almost sent it to you guys, but it was a YouTuber, and she was theorizing that Alaros is not actually Sorella. She's actually who's the daughter of Rhaegar?
Rhaenys.
Rhaenys. She's the daughter of Rhaegar. She's Rhaenys, in
Like
disguise. So there's like
she's like
double.
tan. She's like tan. She's like very clearly half Summer Islander.
She's like she was doing some cope where she was like she's not actually half Summer Islander. She's actually like that's actually just Dornish. Like that's just Dornish, that her skin color is just Dornish, and the Summer Islander part's a lie, and she's actually half Targaryen. And it's undone by the fact that George had that snidey comment where he's like, "I can tell you, Rhaenys is definitely dead."
Yeah.
So that whole theory, by the like, yeah. But yeah, I heard that and I was like, interesting.
It's almost like some of these YouTubers don't even do the research. They just theory videos have gone downhill. Preston, please come up with a new one, please. By the way, people have been clamoring for this. You know this, right? They want you to do a new theory video constantly. I always get asked every now and then, "Yo, is he cooking something?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, he's cooking something." But
it's
I lie.
hard. It's hard when like theory depends on a book coming out to eventually prove the theory right or wrong, and it's just the book's not coming out. Like, I mean,
I thought you were going to say it depends on you believing George is this infallible. He has it all.
It does. I mean, that's true too.
Planned out, and you've had like this.
I've fallen
this
from
period
the
of
position of like him being infallible, and you know, I've done a lot more research as well on like the progression of the book and how when George came up with ideas and stuff like that, you know, if you believe he's infallible, you're like, well, why didn't anyone say words are wind in the first fucking book? And you're like, well, is there a reason that no one said words are wind?
Nuncle must be an ironborn term that is slowly spread into other cultures, and that's why
time traveling Bran brought it back in time for Fire and Blood.
Well, see, it's the time dilation. Right. Come on,
the square towers, the round towers.
Love my Sunday Night Boys. Plan on 1,000 Worlds podcast. Also thoughts if the Harangans were actually the pyramids in seven times never killed man. Read that theory somewhere. Could the pyramids be the Harangan mines? I suppose.
My problem with it is it's the pyramids are never brought up in any of the stories that mention, like, we specifically are told of like the planet of the Harangans and see it in the Stone City, and there's no pyramid motif or anything in there. So,
right.
I don't know. There's no.
They also kind of know that like Old Haranga is a world that exists, and it's not just Corlos, you know, which is the world that and Sometimes Never Kill Man is on. Like, I can't believe I've remembered that the world's name was Corlos. But and that people have been trading with it for a while, and they kind of so, and you know it's in the jangles and stuff like that. So it's we know it's kind of not yeah. Well, the jangles was strong territory, wasn't it? But
I think the stronger theory is that the pyramids were built by the original Janchi. That it's similar to what's happening to the Steel Angels, where like they were a technologically sophisticated society, and they got trapped in their own pyramids, kind of thing, where they started worshiping and then they reverted back. Because there's also, like, you brought this up in your video, and it's always been something that's hung up on me, is like the original Janchi gods that are too human never resolved. And you asked George specifically about this, and he just, I don't know. But it's like one of those things in the story where like the pyramids must be pulling from human memories or something like that, must be pulling from the memories of the humans, and like the pyramids wanted it to happen the whole time. Like, I have no idea.
Like,
I don't
the pyramids
know.
Pyramids were like bringing people back to, were like devolving everyone. The original Janshis were advanced, absolutely, and then the pyramids definitely devolved them to a primitive state. But I thought it was like it devolved them to a point of like population stability, you know, that the Janshi, because the Janshi before were just like fucking all over the place and spreading, and so like brought him to the point where they only have sex a certain amount to bring to, because I want to say he like brings some of the, does Janchi, once he brings one off a world, it starts acting different or something, but
Yes, once he breaks the pyramids, there's like the great speaker or the whatever her name was. She starts having sex constantly, like his little band
yeah,
of misfits start having sex. So yes, the pyramids are like population control, and that this fits like George was thinking about.
yeah,
Like this was a concern because it's the Suthlum, the food trilogy is also all about this, that like
yes,
population needs to be in
yes,
control, ecological balance. So like that
right.
makes
And
sense.
the
Yeah.
living in ecological balance idea, the hippie idea, right? I mean, you can even find it in like the island of Nath and stuff like that. That, oh well, you know, the disease kills off just the right number of people to keep everything in balance, because human beings just overpopulate, and so we need something to like kill them off, because that's how nature works, generally speaking. You get too many rabbits, the foxes eat them, and you get too many foxes, there's not enough rabbits, they start starving, and then the rabbits start booming again, and it just goes back and forth, right? So it feels like it was like the beginning of the cycle again with the Steel Angels, that they were going to start limiting their population, that there were going to be some survivors, but most of them were going to starve. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't get the sense that they were the Harangan mines, because the Harangan mines, yes, you're talking about the fact that like the Harangans are telepaths who can send evil dreams to people to cause them to kill themselves. It's true. But the Harangans themselves were still expansionist. Like they were expansionist themselves. And there's nothing expansionist about the pyramids. The pyramids only want to live in balance. And have no desire to do anything else.
They want to shrink and limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're totally right that that defeats it, where because if they were Harangans, they would turn them into like slave races and war outwards, because that was the whole point.
They'd get on spaceships and they'd get to the next world, and
yeah, I think you're right.
I mean,
1,000 world question.
Yeah, obviously they talk about the Harangan mines in the story, so I can understand why the theory would come around. I mean, Dahan directly does compare the pyramids to the Harangan mines. I mean, like he definitely he does in the story, but House of Dynamite and other Tom Clancy books. Oh, thoughts on House of Dynamite? I've never read a Tom Clancy book. I've read Clive Cussler books, but I've never read a Tom Clancy books. I've seen some of the Tom Clancy movies. I want to say the ones I watched, I've seen A Clear and Present Danger, which is pretty forgettable. Hunt for Red October, which is incredible. And if I've seen Patriot Games, it's I've forgotten it. Have you seen many of the Tom Clancy movies?
I've seen Hunt for Red October. Let me see what Tom Clancy, he like produced like an insane amount of stuff where I'm like, that's Tom Clancy. Like there's video games on Tom Clancy novels now. Jack Ryan. See, a lot of this blends together, like Splinter Cell. Yeah, I don't
Without
know these.
Remorse. Yeah, all these things I was just like, oh man.
He just like mass produced. Like that's the thing is, my dad was kind of obsessed with Tom Clancy before I was born, and he's like, he predicted 9/11. Like he but when you're like when he's mass producing this many books, like of course you're gonna hit on some geopolitical thing, like because he just.
I think he kind of got lucky. If I were to guess, he got lucky with Hunt for Red October, and that Hunt for Red October is just such a well-made movie. It's a movie where nothing much happens, but it's so like beautifully done. Like there's just so many cool aspects to that movie, and just really well acted. But man, When did he write his first book? That's the films.
Jeez. Yeah, he's like what's his name? Stephen King with the amount he writes. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how he pulls this stuff off. Man, John Krasinski is still playing him on TV. John
Oh my
Krasinski,
gosh.
action star now. Novel of the same name. Hunt for Red October was written in 1984. Jesus Christ, this guy's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Is he still alive? Tom Clancy? Is he still alive?
No, he died in
Or is he deceased?
2013.
2013. Okay. Patriot
Hey, he's
games
from
like
he's
yeah,
from
some of these I
Baltimore,
don't
Maryland,
remember.
man. Oh, he died young.
Oh wow.
He died
66. Oh man. 6'2". Tall guy.
Oh, I see. See, the reason he knows so much about the military is he worked for. No, his dad worked for the post office. No, he joined the Army Reserve. Went to Loyola College in Baltimore. Okay. Yeah, Hunt for Red October was his first book. That's I mean, I do think that wow, Hunt for Red October is first. That's crazy. The
That's his first book? Oh
yeah.
man.
So he essentially got lucky with that one, and then now look, I think Hunt for Red October is a great movie, but I do think there's something weird about the weird like the military worship books, you know, because they're always
Yeah.
like filled with these like super honorable characters that are like doing everything for their country kind of stuff, and there's a lot of efficiency with the military and stuff like that. That just having been around the military my whole life, like you realize that military is just filled with like it's got every aspect of society in there. So there's crazy fucks. There's massive bureaucracy. There's just regular people that are trying to do their job, and the fact that like you know everybody's always portrayed as like you know stiff and like doing things, and it's just like oh my god, it's just I don't know. It's just my experience with the military has just never been like that. You know, but people love these books, man. They're kind of this. So there is this weird kind of I don't know lionization worship of the military that's kind of in a lot of these, but also the fact you know making the world so much more dangerous than it actually is. But I haven't I've not read. Oh, by the way, I don't know about what House of Dynamite is. Catherine Bigelow movie, because she did. Catherine Bigelow did what the Oscar winner, the bomb movie.
Oh, Oppenheimer?
No. She
Sorry,
did,
I'm typing.
She did like in Hurt Locker. Hurt Locker. That's what I was thinking of. But oh, House of Dynamite is the definition of a stinking ending. That's too bad. Okay, let's get on so I can try to get to bed. Do you think Randall Tarley will betray the Tyrells? I do. I think that there is. I think he's been put in a position where he has all of the power. He has Marjorie in his possession. He hates women. He seems like he's in a situation where he's going to allow Marjorie to be killed or kill Marjorie himself. We've been set up so much on this idea that he hates women and that he has got a sick, demented sense of justice. And so I don't see how Marjorie can die and he be somehow like made innocent and made loyal in that situation. So no, I do think that Randall Tarley will betray the Tyrells. And probably over something like and I think Marjorie ends up dead because of it. But yeah. Is House Vance pro-Targaryen like Dairy Dragon Sigil? No, I mean obviously like House Vance has the Dragon Sigil because House Vance is named after the author Jack Vance, who wrote various books that George loves, like Wayfarer's Rest. That all comes from his work. Jack Vance, he's kind of known for the Dying Earth stuff, and the dragons. I think that comes from. That's the thing is that dragon is older than the Targaryens, and so the question is like, how did it become older than the Targaryens, especially when they were supposedly an Andal house. So I want to say, I forget if they. Some people claim that that they took on the black dress, according to semi-canon sources, where you're like, they took on the dragon because they supported the black dragon in the Dance of the Dragons.
No, it says they supported the Greens.
Or did the other? There's two House Vances.
Yeah. Oh wait, so this is Vance of Atranta. Oh shoot,
Yeah.
so this is maybe why they divided. Oh, but these are all.
It's yeah. I mean, it's quite a retcon, isn't it? But I mean, these sigils predate George's whole idea about the blacks versus the greens as like a Dance of the Dragons thing. But because the dragons are actually named for the dragons, refer to the Vance's book, The Dragon Masters. So the sigils predate George's idea about the Dance of the Dragons involving greens and blacks. But was it retconned to be who they supported in the Dance of the Dragons? I don't know about that, but are they going to be pro-Targ? Well, I mean, trying to think. If we go with the fact that like Vance shows up with Dairy in that Eddard chapter in A Game of Thrones, and they talk about the mountain killing their people, and they want to push the Starks and the Lannisters into fighting. One could argue that Vance, Piper, and Dairy are all secretly pro-Targ, but the thing is, we never hear about Varys like talking to them and doing that, which is kind of funny because Varys specifically is like, fuck, like let's slow down all of this stuff that Littlefinger's doing and try to speed up Dany invading, because oh my god, I'm trying to hold things together until they invade, and then this happens. It'd be like that means it'd be like Varys' doing that. He did the false flag attack of Eddard 11. I don't know. We'd have to establish that Eddard 11 is actually a false flag attack, and that Vance, Piper, and Derry are lying and brought in crisis actors, which is, I mean, the chapter does kind of seem weird, right? Like it does kind of, you know, the small folk are lying. They're saying all these weird stories that don't make any sense. So, you know, did they
Tywin planning to kill Ned? It was because that's a weird aspect too, like the later revision.
Yeah. I mean, nothing about
nothing about it makes sense.
The harrying of the Riverlands makes any sense, but
because yeah, you're right. He has enough intel that Robert is out of the city, but not enough info that Ned's leg is ruined, so he can't ride all the way to the Riverlands.
That's right. Yeah.
And also, why would Ned do that himself? Like, also, like, in what world would Ned go, like, leave his position as hand to go there and do it? Like, I guess, would Ned do something like that? Maybe Ned is stupid enough to do something like that.
Oh, the other thing is, with Vance specifically, Lord Vance actually dies at the Golden Tooth, but Carl Vance, his heir, is the one that shows up with the crisis actors. So it could be that Carl Vance, for some reason, is in on the conspiracy, but his dad wasn't, and he let his dad die at the Golden Tooth. But it's a lot of...
He's still... Carl Vance is still alive. Yeah, Carl Vance is was with Jaime, or I guess the Riverrun siege is broken up, so maybe he's not with them anymore.
He was, like, supposedly really good friends with Edmure, right?
Yes. So,
yeah. Carl commands defensive forwards. Launch the funeral boat. Bends the knee at the Red Wedding. I guess he could be a Targaryen supporter. He does everything. He makes the same moves that House Derry does. So I guess you could argue that Carl Vance specifically is it could be a secret Targaryen supporter. I'm gonna say that's a possibility. That's a possibility. If House Derry is, but House Derry's been killed off, so I don't know. Well, we don't know what happened to Lord Derry, Lord Ryman Derry. There's that confusion. Paid protesters at the throne room, exactly. Eddard 11 was an inside job. Yeah, no, I mean, if you read Eddard 11, it's impossible not to read Eddard 11 and not think that there's something wrong. And even in the show, they kind of make Littlefinger the one who's like instigating things instead of Varys.
You're right, because there's that woman who's like wearing like a dress and there's like blood on it, but she like walked all the way there, like, right?
Yeah.
Like she came all the way from the Riverlands and didn't change her clothes.
I think in the show they dump a bunch of fish. They dump a bunch of dead fish or something.
Dump a bunch of fish?
Something weird like that.
I'm looking this up right now. I need to... Gosh, how do I see? Like, this is such a weird, like a minor scene that no like YouTuber's gonna post it. Ned give you justice. Like that's like I feel like somebody be like, "Oh, this is a cool scene. It's a cool scene." He says justice. Okay, come on. It started before the entrance. There are fish on the ground. Yes, there are a whole bunch of fish on the ground.
Like they left these. Yeah. It was like they left these and they bring in all these like fish. And they're like the symbol of House Tully or something like that. And I'm like, you brought a bunch of fish like in a sack on like a week's ride to the capital to dump these fucking rotten fish in the throne room. Like it was like a really fucking crazy scene.
You're right though that it was Littlefinger egging them on in the show.
Yeah.
Isn't Fish the sigil of House Tully? Isn't that your wife's house?
Thank you, Littlefinger.
Egg wants to sacrifice baby Rhaegar to hatch dragons, and Dunk King slays him, a la Jaime. The king's
Oh,
blood causes the wildfire to go crazy and destroy Summerhall. I mean, I can't say that
oh.
that's not a very George thing. That like this long, lifelong friendship where they've been through all of these things together, and there's so much love between these two men, and then in the end, like Dunk has to fucking kill Egg, like this person he loves. I mean, it's pretty fucking brutal. Um,
Hmm.
if he's, if Egg's like, we have to execute the baby, and he's just like
This is
going
a
nuts
very
at the
old
end.
theory. This is like I remember
It
reading about
does.
this in 2012. It's really old. The idea.
Yeah.
I can see this being reasonable too, because like I know that the World Book, which is like our only source on like Egg at that time, talks about him being like really frustrated that his like small folk protections and reforms are not being taken seriously, and only dragons would get them through. So I could see like George having like a tough voyaging kind of argument
Mm-hmm.
where like, well, it's for the greater good, that for this one baby versus the rights of thousands and millions to come. Like I
I
could
mean,
see that being the
it
thing.
literally is like looking at Anakin in the Phantom Menace and somehow thinking that this is going to be a planet destroying monster, right? In Star
Yeah,
Wars, right? Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
don't know anything about Egg other than the fact, like, except for him as a child, and you're just
Right.
like, oh, and he's like a funny guy and he's great, he's charming, and so like. It's a lifetime later. I think Egg is in his 60s or something during this when he dies, right?
Yeah. Making bitter enemies when he made fast friends, treason and turmoil followed. Yeah, I could see that. Cause yeah, like Egg's thing is that he wants to give, like it's almost like he wants to install Dornish law, like right, like he's like
Mm-hmm.
yes, like veterans should be protected, and you can't beat small folk or whatever, like all these little things, and he gets frustrated that he can't.
That's a good
So
point, Preston. I didn't really make that connection until you just said it because remember in episode 2, Anakin's telling Padme like, "I don't think the system works." In
Yeah.
episode 3, as he's falling to the dark side, he goes, make things the way we want them to be." So that's a good one. I like that.
yeah, it
There it
is.
is. There's your theory
It
right there.
is. You're right.
There it is.
It's a
Um,
shame that George Lucas didn't make Anakin more likable, like for that to really hurt, right? Like,
yeah.
you know.
Um, yeah. I mean, it's funny because it's a similar time. I mean, Dunkin' Egg 1 comes out in 98. Phantom Menace is in 99. Sworn Sword is where we first hear about Dunk talking about the prophecy, um, about
Hmm.
like how the dragons are going to come back, and Aenys and stuff like that, and him reading prophecy books and stuff. So um, I think there's definitely elements. I mean, here's the thing: is every Targaryen, like we've heard of how many Targaryens who are fucking crazy on prophecy. Okay, so we definitely have Rhaegar is crazy about prophecy. We hear about the Mad Queen Dany from the show. We know that the Mad King is crazy. Viserys was crazy, and Mad King thought he was going to get reborn. We know Aerion Brightflame was crazy. We know Daron the Drunkard was getting prophetic dreams. We know Aemon was getting prophetic dreams. Um, uh, and then the show tells us that Viserys is getting prophetic dreams and Aegon is getting prophetic dreams.
Hmm.
So it's just it fits that like Egg talks about Aenys getting prophetic dreams. So every Targaryen seems to be fucking crazy about prophecy. It seems to fit that Egg was crazy about prophecy. So either he was just doing something innocent, like trying to hatch a bunch of eggs with wildfire, or he was doing something darker. And George likes to go dark. So,
Mm.
you know, Aryan drinking wildfire is dark. What's darker than drinking wildfire? You got it. It can't just be like a bunch of eggs with wildfire underneath it. No, it's got to be fucking dark. So it's George. So I think it fits that he was trying to kill baby Rhaegar or sacrifice the pregnant lady or something. Yeah, but
Wasn't
I
there
think
a
that fits
prophecy
perfectly.
or a fortune telling that someone said? Was it Jenny of Oldstones that the prince that was promised would be born from their line? So is the theory here that Egg, upon hearing this, tries to sacrifice one of them, the child, to bring back the dragon? Is that the theory? And then Dunk sees this and tries to stop it, and then the whole thing just goes awry. The whole ritual, whatever it is. Is that what it is? Is that the tragedy of Summerhall?
Um,
Is that the theory you're coming to right now?
well, I mean, I think yeah, that I think that let's see, that it's of his line. Yeah, that he's convinced that this is the right line, and I'm trying to think like, let me look at the. I do wonder why he let his. I mean, I imagine that Duncan the Small was searching for Jenny of Oldstones because he thought that maybe Jenny of Oldstones had like the special blood or something. And he then decides that he allows Jaehaerys and Shira to have a child, and then Aerys and Rhaella. So we get the double incest at that point, right? And then Rhaegar is born. So the double incest of the line. I mean, that's pretty crazy having the two generations of incest right there. He must have somehow thought Jaehaerys was the chosen one of some sort. Then Shira, is he naming after Shira?
Or that the chosen one would come from his line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he must think. But the dragon has 3 heads. I don't know if you're going to make that work though.
And Trey, you said you read this that Egg was frustrated that his reforms weren't being taken seriously. This is from the World Book, so this is possibly written by George or Elio.
That he needed dragons, like he needed his dragons for his reforms to actually be taken seriously, and that's why.
So this was either written by George R. R. Martin or Elio, and I'd be curious to see what Elio has to say about that.
Gotcha. So I see what it is. That he wanted the dragons to be real to be back because he thought he could actually like help people.
Yes.
There was a noble reason. It wasn't White Walkers. It wasn't fighting White Walkers. It was like trying to reassert control over and implement good reforms.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that all makes sense.
You want me to ask? You want me to ask him right now? I don't know if he's awake or not, but I can ask him.
What's this?
I can ask Elio if it was Elio or George who wrote that in there. Because if it was George who wrote that in there,
he's gonna say it's George.
It's probably George. George cares too much about the egg stuff, and it's so minimal. Like the egg stuff is so so sparse that I'm like, that's probably George wanting to keep things secret.
Long live Lady Couch of House Vance, of course. I just can't believe like it's so funny, like the Vance Widow Kirk like rumors.
Oh yeah.
Because at first I was just like, whatever, guys, you clipped at the right moment to make it look like there's this thing, and then she went and like had to like address it and be like, oh, I got caught up in the moment, just like, what are you guys doing? And then Usha Vance is no longer wearing a wedding ring. It's like, what the hell?
She's not wearing her wedding ring. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I mean, it's kind of silly. It's kind of silly in the sense of like, first of all, like, I read an article that was like, first of all, like Vance, he went to a Ivy League school. He's got to want to be with intelligent Ivy League women, because that's what going to those schools produces. He probably really likes the fact that he's got this like Ivy educated wife who's super smart. He probably really likes Usha Vance, and then the
You
other
do realize
argument
Erica
is
Kirk is a college-educated woman, right? She has several degrees.
she does. She is actually very educated.
Hmm.
Um,
She went to
and
Arizona State University. Like, she is highly educated.
well, she's educated, but not in the same realm as Usha Vance,
Sure.
The but then there's the idea that all of that's irrelevant because this is about he can never be president with an Indian wife. If like his main supporters are a bunch of fucking racists who and like Christian nationalists who are like, what are you doing? How is your wife not Christian? How does that make sense? And he's like,
Oh God. Those I forgot those questions where they're like, and he's like, she'll come around. We pray for her every day or something like that. And it's like, blah, fuck you.
Preston, you're the designated married person in this stream. How would you feel if your wife was like, yeah, Preston, he'll come around eventually? How would you feel if your wife said something along those lines to you? Because I know you're not very religious, but if your wife was, and she was hoping that you would adopt her religion, how much disrespect would that be on a national stage to say that?
I mean, that's a pretty big disrespect. It's a really stupid thing to say. I would say that the people I know who are in interfaith marriages, they tend to say, that that's their business. Like, I'm not one to push on people. Like, this is like, they're going to believe what they're going to believe, and I'm going to believe what I'm going to believe. And we present all sides and all information to our children, and we let our children come to their own conclusions. That's what they usually do in those interfaith marriages. And in practice, the products of interfaith marriages are atheists. Like, how are you supposed to like choose one over the other when, like, if your father says A and your mother says B, all of a sudden you've entered into religious relativism where you're just like, obviously neither one is fucking correct. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, they can't both be correct, so neither of them are correct. So I can't think of someone being raised in an interfaith marriage that chooses one of the faiths. That's just weird. Maybe somebody else has seen this, but I haven't. It doesn't seem likely to me. Unless you like hate one of your parents and you're like, well, they suck anyway. So, but
His wife is Hindu, right?
yeah. I mean, she's probably as Hindu as he is Christian. As in, not really.
It's okay.
Like,
he can salvage this. When he wins the presidency, he can build a nice Hindu temple near the White House, just like Ned did for Kat. He can build a nice temple.
there's
so
a big vacant lot.
no.
There's a big vacant place like right next to the White House, in the east. So
many
maybe
right
a Hindu
wingers
temple right there.
So many right wingers were cursing at him on Twitter because he posted a picture of his family at Thanksgiving, and it's supposed to be like a nice happy family, but of course, way too many brown people in the picture. Everybody was upset.
The things
sucks.
these racists, it's just so, yeah.
Oh, by the way, real quick, I'm sorry to Josh, but real quick, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this even in private. Did you see how Elon accidentally fucked over the MAGA base by revealing the identities of the people who make those MAGA accounts? They're all people from India.
They're all like Nigerians and Eastern Europeans.
Nigerians, Indians, like people from Bangladesh. Like, bro, come on.
Yeah, of course they were. We all knew it. It's just that there's the proof.
We're being gaslit. We're being divided by the old school Nigerian prince scam, but on Twitter now. This is kind of
What's weird is
ridiculous.
that he's still fucking that crazy man still believes it all. Fucking burn in hell, Eon. But any chance Suetonius is being satirical when he goes on and on with the bird signs? Have you seen these? It's doubtful, but I want to believe. He talks about
Is he
birds.
is he talking about like the sacred birds of Rome, like the swans or something? I,
He does a lot of like. I mean, now granted, I spent most of my time. I've read Suetonius, but I've spent most of my time focusing on the Nero, Claudius, Caligula stuff. That was like, and so in those ones, he uses a lot of like, lightning struck over this temple this day, showing that
hmm.
this was, a bad omen, kind of stuff. Um, but do I think he's being satirical? I don't know. So he's clearly like writing entertainment, like it's
Hmm.
salacious entertainment. And there is a question of like is the whole thing satire, and is he like is he expecting anyone to actually believe this at the time? Because it's so over the top. And
Yeah.
then when no other historical accounts survive, and you're only left with Suetonius, it's kind of funny. But
I
what's the
I think I think he's talking about like augury, like where people would see how the chickens go. Like I don't know, like I know they had sacred chickens and geese in Rome and stuff, and they would tell when war is brewing or
Oh, here we go.
something like that.
Suetonius's biography of Caligula contains two mentions of sacrificing exotic birds.
Oh.
Really? Oh, I don't know what these are. Well, these might be something different, but he's talking about sacrificing birds for some reason.
These are superstitious people. Like I don't know. It is
Yeah.
true that like Romans literally taught how to like cut open an animal and look at the entrails, and that the entrails tell you something about a person or about the future. um, Macedonians, like Alexander the Great's army, like if there was a disagreement between soldiers, they would all like go on a field and then cut a dog in half and like sprinkle the blood on separate ends of the field. Like these are superstitious people that believed in magic and stuff to an extent. So maybe
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
think it's a problem with our perception of Rome is that everyone wants the Romans to be these like very logical people who conquered the world, and it's like they were also idiots who conquered the world. I mean, in many ways, they were idiots. Okay, they were they were drinking out of lead pipes and lead cups and stuff, and uh, you know um, there was they building building temples to weird weird gods, and I don't know. It's yeah, no, both Suetonius and Josephus describe an event where a bird is sacrificed and the blood splatters either Caligula in Suetonius or a bystander, according to Josephus.
Oh, and what
Um,
does that mean? It's a bad omen or something? It's
I guess. That's so funny.
like yeah, a lot of people need to understand that like ancient people like believed in straight up magic, and like saying certain
I
words
mean,
was
we just
bad and
finished
stuff.
talking about the fact that like our president is being like, supported by people that believe in Noah's Ark and stuff,
This
So,
is true. This is true.
um,
And that you shouldn't say the Lord's name in vain. Yeah, yeah. You should not say. You should say, "Gosh darn."
yeah, yeah. So
And
like, are they that different? Like we are Charlie Kirk. We are Charlie Kirk. Have you heard the
that
Charlie Kirk
God,
song?
I have heard that we are, or that like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite one. We're like, yes, God guided the bullet from that assassin through from Trump's ear into like a firefighter. Like, oh, I guess that guy deserved it. I don't know what like I don't know. This is what they say. They're like, yes, God protected Trump, but then got that guy killed anyways. Like he
Well,
really wanted to protect
God,
people.
God
Nobody
is
would have got killed.
God is mean. I mean, he did kill everyone on Earth, including like small
It's true.
children, to build an ark. I mean, babies. He's drowning babies. Um, we carry the flame.
The flame. Oh man,
Conquering land does not make you smart. It's true. It's true.
this is true. That makes you somewhat. It makes you somewhat tactically right. Like you have to have some smarts, and tactics, and
I guess.
logistics. You gotta have logistics. Think of the
Just,
logistics. You gotta get the taxes.
I
Anyways,
mean, the Romans were dumb enough to be like, okay, general, you get to keep everything you plunder, and it's like, ah, fuck, that's bad move, bad
you get
move.
unlimited powers so long as there's war.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Now you're having perpetual war. Gosh darn.
Oh. All
Oh
right.
man.
Thank you, Carmine. Thank you, Trey. Thank you for being with me. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, yeah.
That's
But
it.
it is late now. 12:25 my time.
Twelve
Earlier for you guys.
twenty-five. What? Shouldn't it be 11?
I know. I know. Sorry, man. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for being with me tonight, and I'll see you guys soon.